You're listening to Football Friday Night on demand exclusively on 600 ESPN El Paso. Stay up to date with high school football scores, updates, and news by downloading the free 600 ESPN El Paso mobile app.
Oh, that's right. Week 11, the final week of the high school football regular season is here. I'm your host, Bo Bagley, alongside the Sultan of Scores, Paul McKinnon, and producer Angel Munoz. We've got reporters at all the big games tonight, from the land of enchantment to West Texas and everywhere in between. Earlier on the El Paso Association of Builders pregame show, you heard from the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, a preview of our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air. What a game that's going to be. Kickoff right now at Conquest Stadium. We also heard updates from the Clint Lions hosting Monahans Lobos. That game at halftime, 19-0 Monahans. Meanwhile, Mountain View hosting Pecos. That game tied at 14. We'll have halftime updates from those games in just a little bit. Now another big game with district title implications. The Bowie Bears. That's right. At Beatty Semang Stadium, the Bowie Bears hosting the Riverside Rangers. For a preview, let's go out to Adrian Broadus. Adrian, take it away.
Hey guys, we're just getting underway out here at Beatty Semang Stadium between Bowie and Riverside here in a key 4A matchup. And on the second play of Bowie's opening drive, quarterback Abraham Carrasco was picked off. And you got to give credit to Riverside defensive back Sebastian Archibique, who came up with that big interception. The Rangers already threatening down to the Bowie Bears 34-yard line. First play, a successful run play for the Rangers here, and they're threatening in this one. Guys, what's on the line in this one? Riverside checks in 3-0 on the year in district play. If they win, they take this district outright. On the flip side with Bowie, they get a victory in this one. They clinch a share of the district championship, and that would be their first district title since 2016. By the way, with Riverside, if they get a win tonight, it'll be 3 straight district championships under head coach Gary Ricoder, who could be looking at 3 in 5 seasons. So I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. Rangers on the move on this drive. 11 minutes to go here in this opening quarter between the Riverside Rangers and the Bowie Bears.
All right, Adrian, thank you so much. Rangers with a big interception to open up the game at Beatty Semang Stadium. So Adrian brought us with the call there. Bowie hosting Riverside, both teams 7-2. Once again, Brandon Cohn at Conquest Stadium. Del Valle hosting Bel Air, both teams 8-1. District title on the line there. Some other big games in our Ignitify local scoreboard. Andress hosting Chapin. Hanks hosting Isleta. Horizon hosting Parkland, Jefferson hosting Burgess, down in Clint Lions Stadium, Clint hosting Monahans, Mountain View hosting Pecos. Other games, Irvin is hosting Austin, and then a big one in 6A tonight, Socorro is hosting Americus. That's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. And also in our El Paso Association of Builders pregame show, we heard from a winning head coach from Eastwood, Julio Lopez, as the Troopers knocked off Eastlake today, 56-22. Eastwood ends the regular season 9-1 overall, 8-0 in district, while Eastlake falls to 5-5, 3-5, and out of the playoffs the Falcons are. So Paul's bringing in here as we talk about Eastwood. Rowan, as we heard from Julio Lopez a little bit earlier as we put this one to bed, exciting they'll be able to host a game at Trooper Stadium, but exciting that this one didn't come down to a one-score game.
Yeah, that's what he said. It's
better for us.
Maybe, heck yes. What a fun season this has been. And the Eastwood Troopers have been such a big part of it because it's a cliffhanger week after week. They jump out to a big lead. And I wouldn't use the word let. There's a lot of good competition in District 6A, but other good teams always find a way to get close. And as we've said, all season long, the clutch gene for those Troopers, they always find a way, and they have always found a way as they go to 9-1 and, of course, 8-0, undefeated in the district. Some of the teams are going to be looking at some Central Texas teams next round. Somebody's going to be coming to Eastwood Trooper Stadium next week. As I told you, we could possibly have a 5-way tie for first place in District 2-6A. Let's hit you with some of those early scores. The Midland teams are on top of the district. They're both 3-1. And then the Odessas, Permian and Odessa High, are a game back at 2-2, along with Friendship, who's 2-2. So that sets the stage. Permian up on Midland High, 14-0. Remember, Midland took their first loss just a week ago to Legacy. Permian in that one. If they lose, they're out of the playoffs. 14-0, they lead Midland. Elsewhere, wow, another quasi-shocker. Odessa at 2-2, up 14-7 on Midland Legacy. Of course, these scores extremely early. And Friendship doing their part, 28-13, all over 1-8 San Angelo Central. Friendship wins. They move to 3-2, and they will be a playoff team. If all those three 2-2 teams wind up tied, Odessa Permian is the one that's going to wind up going out the back way. So it's going to be a crazy night. Elsewhere, Lubbock Cooper shutting out Caprock 31-0. They're going to be the 2 seed in their district. They're going to get the 3 seed out of the Esleda 1-5A district. That could be Bel Air. That could be Parkland. Depending on what happens to Bel Air Del Valle tonight. So much riding on that contest. Thursday night, Amarillo grabs third in that district with a 61-28 win over Monterey. Tascosa all over Coronado, 56-34. Tascosa struggled early. They finished the season 5-5 and sneak into the playoffs. Abilene Wiley and Abilene Cooper, we talked about this one in reference to Chapin and Andrus. The winner of this gets the loser of that, and the loser of that gets the winner of this. I think I just said the same thing twice, but who cares? Abilene Wiley up 10-7, couple of 3-1 teams in that district. Of course, they're both behind Wichita Falls Ryder. Wiley leads Cooper 10-7. Speaking of Ryder, all over Lubbock, 35-0. They're going to go undefeated in that district, and they're going to get the 4th place from El Paso District 1-5A. That could be the Burgess Mustangs. As long as Burgess doesn't lose by more than 13 points tonight at Jefferson, they will be the 4th and final seed. Of course, Bernie Luna in his first year as head coach, I think they would just like to take care of matters and just win that game outright. See how it goes. Just one other score down to District 2-4A. Lubbock Estacado, 2nd place in that district, 34-0, all over Lakeview. Lakeview's going to be out of the playoffs. Big Spring and Andrews also playing for the final playoff spots, and seeding in that district. And that's your first out-of-town scoreboard of the night. I'm going to say first of many. We're keeping a careful eye on out-of-town tonight.
Absolutely. That's your Ignitify local and out-of-town scoreboard. We'll keep you updated on everything, and we'll head out to Steve Escajeda and Adrian Tellis in just a moment, get you updated on those 4A games that just went to halftime over at Clint and at Mountain View. And once again, our Ignitify local scoreboard, we have games all over the borderland. And once again, Eastwood defeated Eastlake today, 56-22. Eastwood is obviously the district champ. Another big one tonight we have at 7:30 p.m. kickoff. The Socorro Bulldogs host the America's Trailblazers. Yeah, and that's the one that we've been remiss to get to. All America's has to do to get into the playoffs is win versus winless Socorro. Socorro 0-9, not the same caliber as the rest of the teams in District 1-6A. Gave El Dorado a pretty good run a couple of weeks ago. But this is the night where you check grades and make sure we have everybody on our team is eligible, because that could be the only thing that knocks America's out. They're going to grab the 4th and final playoff spot with a victory, and they will go into the small school behind Eastwood. Eastwood will be remember 6A is the only district where you take the 4 playoff teams and you take the 2 most populous, and in this case that's going to be 2nd place Pebble Hills and 3rd place Montwood. They're going to go to the big school playoffs, and then Eastwood will be the 1 seed. America's, after they beat Socorro tonight, will be the 2 seed in the small school. And 32 districts, 2 teams from each district, that gives you your 64 in the big school, 64 in the small school. After tonight, Montwood and Pebble Hills are no longer rivals with Eastwood and America's. They're in 2 totally different playoffs, going for 2 totally different trophies, in case anybody didn't already understand that. So Socorro wins and they're in. That's the only intrigue in District 1-6A. Very much so. Americas wins and they're in. Thanks. Absolutely. Okay, we got a live update from Beatty Cement Stadium. Let's go out to Adrian Broadus as Bowie's hosting Riverside. Here's Adrian for an update. Adrian.
Hey guys, I'm breaking the rules. 10:15 left, or 17 left here in the first quarter. Got a lot of action out here at Beatty Cement Stadium. It's a tie game. Bowie 7, Riverside 7. This is how it got started. After the interception early on by Bowie, they were able to punch it in 6 yards out. Quarterback Derek Vasquez of the Rangers punched it in 6 yards out for a touchdown to go up 7-0. That was with 10:34 left in the first. We're talking about less than 30 seconds afterward, 2 plays later, Bowie gets a 70-yard touchdown from quarterback Abraham Carrasco. He threw it out to his top wide receiver, Antonio Ontiveros, a 70-yard touchdown. And we've got a tied ball game out here in the South Side. 10:17 left here in the first quarter. Bowie 7 and Riverside 7.
All right, Adrian Broadus, thank you very much. Once again, 7-all over at Beatty Smink Stadium. What a start there between the Bowie Bears and the Riverside Rangers. We get down to 4A. What a fun game between Clint and Monaghan's early. No score early. Clint hanging in there, and then maybe the Lobos pulling away. For an update, halftime update, let's get out to Steve Escajeda over at Clint's Lion Stadium.
Thanks a lot, Bo. We are here at halftime at Clint Stadium, and it's Monaghan's on top of Clint, 19-0. Again, Clint been able to move the ball on the ground tonight a little bit. Just to show you, Clint has run 33 plays here in the first half. Monaghan's only 10. So Clint's been able to move the ball, get a first down here, get a first down there, but again, not able to punch it in when it counts. Monaghan's, they've been scoring tonight. Again, one score by their quarterback, but a couple by their defense. A.J. Navarrete, their linebacker, he's got a 55-yard fumble return for a touchdown, and he also blocked a punt and recovered it into the end zone for a couple of scores there for Monaghan's. Again, they're up 19-0. Individually for Monaghan's, they're led by Cheno Navarrete, their quarterback, 3 carries on the night, 59 yards, and a touchdown. He has 1 out of 6 through the air for just 8 yards. As far as Clint is concerned, they're led on the ground by their running back Colin Ivey, 11 carries, 49 yards, and Angel Veliz, 5 carries, 17. And as usually the case for Clint, they've only thrown the ball 4 times tonight. No completions there. So again, a defensive struggle, a quick game that started at 6 o'clock. That's why we're already at halftime. Again, Clint is keeping their eyes on the Pecos Mountain View game. Again, if Pecos wins that game, Clint is in the playoffs, or if Mountain View wins by 10 or more, Clint is in the playoffs. And right now, neither one is happening. It's halftime, and Pecos and Mountain View are tied at 14. We're at halftime, about 7 minutes to go before the start of the third quarter. It is Mountain View 19, Clint nothing.
All right, Steve Escajeda with the update. 19-0 Monaghan's over Clint at halftime, and he was just talking about that Pecos Mountain View game. Let's go out to Mountain View's Lobo Stadium. Join Adrian Tellis for this halftime update. Mountain View hosting Pecos. Adrian, take it away.
Good evening, El Paso fans, and it's halftime here at Mountain View High School, where your score is Mountain View 14, Pecos 14. Let me get everybody caught up on the scoring drives here from the first half. In the second quarter, Johnny Morales from Pecos ran a 2-yard run, giving the Pecos Eagles a 7-0 lead. Mountain View came back and scored on a 17-yard receiving touchdown from Slozar to Eric Dominguez, tying it up at 7-7. With 1:34 left in the second quarter, Jordan Morales had a receiving touchdown for Pecos, followed by a 74-yard bomb from Slozar to Diego Gonzalez to put the score all tied up here at 14 at Mountain View during halftime. So let me give you guys some updated stats. We're going with sophomore quarterback from Pecos, Omar Salgado, who's right now 8 for 9 with 106 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 1 interception, along with 7 carries for 16 yards and 1 touchdown on the ground. Pecos starting quarterback Cole Salgado suffered a broken collarbone 3 weeks ago, so that is why we're seeing sophomore quarterback Omar Salgado, but he's doing very well right now for the Pecos Eagles. Leading receivers for Pecos is Jonathan Sandoval, who has 69 yards receiving on 4 passing attempts. For the Mountain View Lobos, we have Matthew Slozar right now, who is 9 for 10 for 179 yards and 2 touchdowns. But team stats for the Mountain View Lobos right now are minus 18 yards rushing, but they have 170 yards passing on the air. So we're 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the halftime. We're getting ready for the second half kickoff, boys, here from Mountain View High School, where we do have playoff scenarios intact for Mountain View, Pecos, and Clint. Back to you guys.
All right, Adrian, tell us with the update there. Thank you so much, Adrian. 14-all between Mountain View and Pecos. What a big game there at Lobo Stadium. We have some score updates from all over town. Over at Bowie's Beatty Smink Stadium, Bowie and Riverside tied at 7. Also early on in this one, Andress currently leading Chapin 7-0. Andress, according to our reporter on site, Jerry Alvarez, Jason Bothwell takes the opening kickoff down to the Chapin 8-yard line. 2 plays later, Marcus Wilson punches it in from 3 yards out. Andrus leads Chapin 7-0. And we have other scores, Parkland leading Horizon 7-0. And then over at Hanks, Excalibur Stadium, Hanks Knights up on Isleta 7-6.
Wow. And one more from Silver Fox Stadium, where the Jefferson Silver Foxes have not won a game yet this season, but the season's not over. 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Milo Gardea, a 4-yard TD run. Jefferson leads Burgess 7-0. Remember, Burgess has to lose by no more than 13 points to grab the fourth and final playoff spot in District 1-5A El Paso.
Wow, Jefferson 0-9 on the season overall, 0-4 in district, and they lead the Burgess Mustangs 7-0. What an exciting game we have over at Excalibur Stadium. Let's head out to Jeremy Karanko for an update. Hanks hosting Isleta, a big game. Jeremy, take it away.
We have 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and it is the Hanks Knights leading the Isleta Indians 7-6. A big game tonight. Winners in the playoffs, assuming Parkland does not falter at Horizon. And what has been a rushing attack for the Hanks Knights as Michael Oliver takes another snap. Again, Hanks is about to score again. They're at the 2. We'll see what happens here. But as I was discussing, Michael Oliver, again, 46 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown already. We know how good that Isleta pass defense has been this season. And Evan Martinez, who was roughed up last week, is on the field, and he hits DeAndre Jackson for a 61-yard touchdown after Hanks went 56 yards in just 4 minutes and 49 seconds to open the drive. Isleta responds with a 61-yard touchdown. As Michael Oliver gets a carry here, and he punches it in. So Hanks has just gotten on the board again as Michael Oliver has scored his second rushing touchdown of this game, and pending extra point, Hanks leads it now by the score of 13-6 with 1:26 left to go in the first quarter.
All right, Jeremy Karanko on the call. We got a touchdown live on the air. Hanks scoring again, punching it in. 13-6, pending the extra point right now in the first quarter. Hanks leads Isleta. Let's head out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air. Get an update from the Iceman. Brandon Cohn on that game. Let's go out to Conquest Stadium. Brandon, what do you got for us?
4:18 left here in this opening quarter. We have a tied game, a 7-7 Bel Air and Del Valle at the 7:57 mark of the first quarter. Del Valle marches down the field on their opening possession. Fetti perfect on the drive, fighting wideout Andres May a few times on that particular drive, and running back Juan Archuleta puts the exclamation mark, including it with a 5-yard touchdown run. PAT was good. Then at the 4:02 mark, Bel Air's quarterback Noah Moreno comes back to throw a 35-yard TD to his wideout Mark Mukibi. Point after attempt was good, making the score 7-7. Del Valle driving right now. Nice little run by quarterback Fetti gets them all the way down to the Bel Air 40. Right now, 4:09 left, opening quarter. We have a tied game. Bel Air 7, Del Valle 7.
Ooh, this is going to be a fun one. Brandon, thank you so much. Tied at 7 between Del Valle and Bel Air early in the first quarter. We just heard from Paul McKinnon talking about the Jefferson Silver Foxes hosting the Burgess Mustangs. Let's go out to reporter Ryan Vidalis there at Silver Fox Stadium for an update. Ryan.
We actually just reached the end of the first quarter here at Silver Fox Stadium, and it is the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6 and the Burgess Mustangs 0. Just to cap off that touchdown, it seems like Jefferson found out the formula to handling Burgess today, and that is keep the Burgess Mustang offense off the field. They opened up this drive with an 8-minute drive in the opening of the game, and that was capped off of a fake punt. A fake punt that led to a 36 yards pass into Mustang territory. Jefferson's running back, Miguel Rubio, did most of that work, going 4 carries for 30 yards and having Milo Gardea punch it in from 4 yards out. The Mustangs, on the other hand, only were able to run 3 plays in the first quarter. 3 plays, and capping that off by a fumble. Right now, Burgess has just taken over, getting ready to start the second quarter, but they are currently doing the wave to the Children's Hospital. But once again, that is the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6 and the Burgess Mustang 0 to start the second quarter.
All right, Ryan Vidalis there at Silver Fox Stadium. Ryan, thank you so much. We've got an update from Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. Let's head out to Adrian Brudis for an update as Bowie's hosting Riverside. Adrian.
Thank you, guys. 6:20 left here in the opening quarter, and it looks like the Bowie Bears have just tied it up against the Riverside Rangers, 14-all. How about this game, guys? It was on the previous drive, Riverside quarterback Derek Vasquez hitting Sebastian Archibique for a 74-yard touchdown. Remember, Archibique already has an interception from earlier in this game, 74-yard touchdown to put the Rangers up 14-7. Well, Bowie responded almost immediately. Running back Alan Mota had a 49-yard rush down to the 11-yard line. Then 3 plays later, he punched it in from 2 yards out to score his first rushing touchdown of the day. So we've got a tie ball game out here. 6:20 left in the opening quarter. 14-14 between Bowie and Riverside.
Wow. What a game there. Adrian's stat book is going to be through the roof after this one. Already 14-all between Riverside and Bowie at Beatty Semang Stadium. Once again, we heard in our El Paso Association of Builders pregame show, we heard from winning victorious Eastwood head coach Julio Lopez after Eastwood's 56-22 victory over the Eastlake Falcons. For more on this game, let's go out to reporter J.D. Sursley, who's standing by at the Student Activities Complex with more, once again, on Eastwood's win over Eastlake. J.D.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next game, 15 minutes until my next kickoff. But, yeah, Eastwood Troopers 56, Eastlake Falcons 22. We'll go with Eastlake. Number 12 quarterback Luke Lamelli, 3 passing touchdowns, 166 passing yards. Number 4, the wide receiver Paul Herrera was probably their best player of the game. 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. Eastwood Troopers just too much defense, offense, special teams, several fumbles by Eastlake. So all around great win by Eastwood. Number 12, Evan Mijaredes, 3 passing touchdowns, 2 touchdowns running. 253 passes for him. Evan Macias, number 11, the receiver, 2 receiving touchdowns, 86 yards for catching. Number 23, Jaden Martinez caught a touchdown, ran for a touchdown. I mean, everyone was just having a field day, pitch and catch for Eastwood Troopers. They go undefeated in district, the first time since 2020. Eastwood's definitely looking into next week with the playoffs. It's not certain yet, but they are looking towards friendship as of now. Your Eastwood Troopers heading to the big dance, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, J.D. Sursley with the update. J.D. Sursley also waiting for that 7:30 p.m. kickoff as Socorro is hosting Americus. Let's go to your Ignitify local scoreboard. Run down our 915 Tours Game of the Week score. Del Valle has just scored again, so the Conquistadors lead the Bel Air Highlanders 14-7, that in the first quarter.
Juan Archuleta, another 5-yard touchdown run. No Shelton Fuller. Let's just go grab Archuleta. He was the starter anyway.
Del Valle just plug and play. There you go. Del Valle up 14-7 in the first quarter over Bel Air in our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Over at Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium, a battle of 7 and 2 teams. This game tied at 14 between Bowie and Riverside. Also in the first quarter, this is probably the surprising score of the night so far. The Andress Eagles, coming in at just 4-5 overall, lead the Chapin Huskies 14-0. We'll hear from Jerry Alvarez in just a little bit, but so far it's all been Andress all the time against their Northeast rivals, the Chapin Huskies.
Yeah, check that score. Singleton, Davion Singleton, they plugged him in at quarterback, immediate results. 34-yard TD run from the Mercurial Singleton. Cuts that lead in half.
All right, so now 14-7, Andress leads Chapin. What a game between Hanks and Isleta so far in the first quarter, as Jeremy Karanka reported. Hanks scored while we're live on air. Hanks now leads Isleta 14-6, that in the first quarter. Also in the first, Parkland leads Horizon, and Jefferson leads Burgess 6-0. Elsewhere, a final once again from Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. Down in 4A, Monahans leads Clint at halftime 19-0. Pecos and Mountain View tied at 14 at halftime, and also at the half, Fort Stockton leads Fabens 35-0. Over in the Land of Enchantment in New Mexico, Gadsden is hosting Mayfield, a huge first-round playoff game in 5A, but the Trojans score first. So Mayfield currently leads Gadsden 7-0. Let's go out to Adrian Broadus over at Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. We have more live update from Bowie hosting Riverside. Adrian, what do you got for us?
5:37 left here in the first quarter. Bowie has just taken a 21-14 lead over Riverside. Guys, after that Bears touchdown I just told you about, thanks to running back Alan Mota from 2 yards out, actually it was Alan Mota who recovered a muffed kickoff from the Rangers, and he had it right around the 30-yard line. The Bears were able to put up a nice drive and just punch it in thanks to a quarterback, Abraham Carrasco, 7-yard touchdown run. And that was from 7 yards out. So now Bowie's up 21-14 over Riverside. 5:37 left here in the opening quarter, and anybody who had the over in this game already hit it, guys.
There you go. Adrian Broadus, thank you very much, Adrian. Once again, 21-14, Bowie leading Riverside. That in the first quarter. Wow, what a game there. The Bowie Bears hanging with the Rangers so far at home for the district title on the line. Let's head out to the Iceman Brandon Cohn and get an update from our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air. Brandon, what do you got for us?
Another exciting first quarter, 2:11 to go here in the opening quarter. Del Valle 14, and it is 14-14 Bel Air and Del Valle. So with the 3:25 mark here of the first quarter, Del Valle goes up again. This time it was a 26-yard keeper by quarterback Fetti. Gets into the Conquistadores down to the 40 of Bel Air. Then 3 plays later, it was running back Archuleta who caps off the drive, a 5-yard touchdown run. His second touchdown of the first quarter. PAT was good, making it 14-7 Del Valle over Bel Air. Then at the 2:18 mark here of the first quarter, Bel Air quarterback Moreno throwing a 68-yard touchdown to his wideout Mark Mukibi. Point after attempt, good. That's Mukibi's second first quarter touchdown. I know a lot of seconds here, tying the game up at 14 apiece. 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. It's Del Valle 14, Bel Air 14.
All right, Brandon Cohn, thank you so much. Boy, we've had high-scoring games all over the place. We're going to take a break, get to our Ignitify local scoreboard, update you on everything. You're listening to Week 11's Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Week 11 of Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. And let's do our Ignitify local scoreboard. Ignitify. Finding a trustworthy person to work on your AC might be difficult. Ignitify is here to help. They are your AC installation service provider. Visit ignitifyep.com to get started today. Our 915 Tours game of the week, Del Valle hosting Bel Air. This game tied at 14 in the first quarter. Also in the first quarter, Bowie is leading Riverside 21-14, and Andress is leading Chapin 14-7. Also in the first quarter, Hanks over Isleta 14-6, and Parkland leads Horizon 7-0. Over at Jefferson, Burgess has just scored. Burgess now leads Jeff 7-6. A final in 6A this morning. I should say this afternoon. Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. In 4A, Monahans leads Clint at halftime 19-0. Now in the third quarter, Pecos leads Mountain View 20-14, and at halftime, Fort Stockton leads Fabens 35-0. In the first quarter, in the Land of Enchantment, the 5A first round of the playoffs, Mayfield leads Gadsden 7-0. Let's now go out to Alan Sepkowitz Stadium and join Jerry Alvarez for an update on Andress hosting Chapin. Jerry, take it away.
With 1:18 left here in the first, just before getting on the air, Davion Singleton takes a 29-yard touchdown run to tie the game up. It is now 14-14 here at Andress. To start off the game, Jason Bothwell of Andress took it down to the 8-yard line. 2 plays later, Marcus Wilson scored a 2-yard run to put Andress up 7-0. After holding Chapin 3 and out on their first drive, Andress Urbina, QB Urbina, 34-yard pass to Eric Fulcher to put Andress up 14-0. Since then, it's been Davion Singleton with 2 touchdowns, one for 34 yards and one for 29 yards to tie it up. Chapin has just kicked off to Andress, and Andress will be starting this next drive at their own 18-yard line to continue this surprising run in this first quarter. Very exciting. We have 1 minute and 11 seconds left in the first quarter, and it's all tied up here, 14-14.
All right, Jerry Alvarez, the call there at Alan Sepkowitz Stadium. Andress once led this game 14-0 early in the first quarter. Chapin has roared back to tie the game at 14. What a game there we have between the Northeast rivals. Let's head out to Mountain View's Lobo Stadium. Adrian Tellis on the call there. Third quarter, last check, Pecos was leading Mountain View 20-14. A very big 4A game. Let's go out to Adrian Tellis for an update. Adrian, take it away.
5:30 left in the third quarter. Your score, Pecos 20, Mountain View 14. Let me get you guys caught up to speed. On the opening drive for Mountain View, on fourth down, a pass from Slosar to Dominguez was short that resulted on a turnover on downs. That led to Pecos sophomore Salgado to Jonathan Sandoval for a 34-yard receiving touchdown, but the extra point was no good. That puts us right now at 20-14. On the next drive for Mountain View, Slosad once again to Eric Dominguez for a 32-yard pass receiving from Slosad to Dominguez, but the ball was fumbled inside the 5-yard line. So that resulted in a turnover on down. So right now, Pecos is driving right now. They're at the Mountain View 35. There's 4:55 left in the third quarter. Your score is Pecos 20, Mountain View 14.
And, Bo, of course, if Mountain View loses this contest to Pecos, they are automatically out of the playoffs. If they win it, they're in. And Clint is out if they win by 10 points or more. They are in third place. Clint is fourth, and Pecos is out. So a lot going on down in Mountain View.
Absolutely, a very big game. Once again, third quarter, Pecos leading Mountain View 20-14. That was Adrian Tellis reporting from Lobo Stadium. Now let's go to Adrian Broadus over at Bowie's Beatty Sming Stadium. Just to make this a little bit harder for our producer, Angel Munoz, we have a couple of Adrians to listen to. As Angel's sitting there, I think he's going to pull out his hair here in a little bit. But let's go out to Bowie's Beatty Sming Stadium. Speaking of pulling your hair out, if you want scores and stats, you go to this game. Adrian Broadus, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, 3:32 left here in the first quarter. It's a tie ball game, 21-all, and Riverside just scored thanks to their quarterback Derek Vasquez on a 1-yard rushing touchdown. It was set up by a 24-yard rushing touchdown that he had right before that. And then on the next drive, Bowie just fumbled it on the exchange. You got to give credit to defensive lineman Alan Benya of the Rangers for taking that fumble. They got it right at the Bowie 31-yard line, and now the Rangers threatening to score and take another lead in this game. Guys, in this one, we've had, if Riverside were to score here, we've had 3 lead changes. We've had a total of 7 touchdowns here, and we're still just talking about the first quarter. That is if Riverside is able to score here on this drive, which it looks like they are just about to, off a Noah Ramirez 9-yard rushing touchdown here. That is some live action. They just get that on the counter draw, and here Riverside gets the lead off the fumble and the turnover that they just forced against the Bears. So I'll send it back to you guys. Under 3:10 left here in the first quarter. Riverside pending an extra point, up 28-21 over Bowie.
And, Bo, if there's a style of advantage play here, it's got to go to the Riverside Rangers.
Absolutely.
They've been in these. Remember, I think 34-33 losers week 1 to Esleda. Had a shootout with Burgess that they came out on top of. This is not Bowie. Bowie is 14-10, or last week's 14-9 loss to Austin. That's more indicative of their kind of game. Keep it close, grind the clock. Win by a TD. Up and down, fast break football. All to Riverside. 28-21, they lead it.
Wow, 49 points in the first quarter between these two teams. Amazing. Remember, both teams 7-2 overall. Riverside 3-0 in district. Bowie 2-1. This has been amazing first quarter. I bet Adrian Broadus wasn't expecting this. Nope. But 28-21, Riverside over Bowie in the first quarter. Ryan Vidalis over at Jefferson Silver Fox Stadium. He's been on the line waiting for a little bit, but a really fun one between Jefferson looking for their first victory of the season against one-win Burgess. And there's playoffs on the line. That's right. Let's go out to Ryan Vidalis for an update. Ryan.
With 4:14 left in the second quarter at Silver Fox Stadium, it is the Burgess Mustangs 7 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6. That touchdown came off of a 61-yard touchdown run by senior running back Caleb Hanna from the Burgess Mustangs. Took the handoff right down the middle and untouched to the end zone. Burgess has finally gotten things clicking. They've held Jefferson to a 3-and-out and are now driving. They are in the red zone right now, currently on the 20-yard line. They actually had a touchdown called back, a 48-yard screen pass taken all the way to the house by Jaden Bowser, but was called back for a hold. But once again, Burgess is now getting things cracking and rolling on all cylinders. It's currently 3:30 left in the second quarter. That is Burgess 7 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6.
And Bo, maybe not an athlete as hot as Caleb Hanna. Remember a couple of weeks ago, more than 200 yards in just a half of play to beat El Paso High. They shut him down in the second half with cramps. Last week, 300-plus yards, 301, I think, to be exact, in the loss to Andrus. And here he is pretty early again. What was it, 61-yard TD run to put Burgess on top 7-6. Of course, Burgess wins this one. They grab the fourth and final playoff spot and a trip to Wichita Falls Rider in District 1-5A. They can also lose, just not by more than 13 points. If that happens, we got coin flips and a 3-way tie among themselves, Jefferson and El Paso High. Burgess doesn't want that to happen.
And once again, just a 1-point game. Burgess leads Jefferson 7-6 in the second quarter. And it's now into the second quarter in our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Brandon Cohn has this report on Del Valle hosting Bel Air. Brandon, what do you got for us?
10 minutes to go here, opening half, and it is Bel Air and Del Valle. Del Valle has taken a 21-14 lead over the Highlanders, although the Highlanders are driving yet again. They're at midfield. At the 11:55 mark to open this second quarter, Del Valle quarterback Fetti polished off a beautiful drive on a 1-yard keeper, making the score Del Valle 21-14. The PAT was good. That's 5 combined touchdowns in this first half. We're barely getting the second quarter started. Also, both quarterbacks nearly flawless. First quarter going 15 of 16 with just 1 drop, combining for 227 total yards. Both offenses unstoppable thus far. This could be one of those games when it's all said and done where you have nearly 1,000 yards of total offense. 9:59 opening half at Conquest Stadium. It is Del Valle with a 21-14 edge over Bel Air.
What a game there between Del Valle and Bel Air. Brandon, thank you so much. Brandon Cohn on the call there. Once again, second quarter, Del Valle now leads Bel Air 21-14, but the Highlanders driving. Hey, let's head back out to Horizon's Emperor Stadium. A fun one between Horizon and Parkland. Let's go out to Angel Torres for an update. Angel, take it away.
With 6:09 remaining in the second quarter, the Parkland Matadors lead the Horizon Scorpions 27-0. On his second carry of the day, Caleb Martinez, who is in for the injured Anthony Carrillo, takes a handoff 79 yards to the house. After some confusion on a personal foul penalty, Parkland quarterback Eric Ortiz found wideout Fabian Cervantes for a 40-yard touchdown pass. After another quick possession by Horizon, Parkland's Juan Gomez takes only his third handoff of the season for a score. And then on the fourth possession of the game, Caleb Martinez caps off that drive with a 10-yard touchdown, making the score 28-0, once again, Parkland over Horizon.
All right, Angel Torres with it up there. Once again, second quarter, Parkland leading Horizon 27-0. All right, let's head back out to Hanks Excalibur Stadium. Once again, Parkland leading Horizon 27-0. Now let's go over to the other district game. Hanks hosting Isleta. A fun one here at last check. Hanks was leading Isleta 14-6 in the first quarter. Let's get an update from Jeremy Karanko at Excalibur Stadium. Jeremy.
3:48 left to go in this first half in the second quarter, and is now Hanks with a 20-6 lead over Isleta. Just moments ago, Isleta quarterback Evan Martinez snapped the ball at the one, their own one. He fumbles it in the end zone, and Justin Allen recovers it in the end zone for the Hanks Knights for the touchdown. A big defensive play there, as on the previous offensive drive for the Knights, they were unable to score on a 4th and 1. Michael Oliver was looking for his third TD, and the defense makes a statement there to help out their offense, and it is a bit surprising of a score right now. Again, Isleta has played great defensively all year. They beat Bel Air, and they're a little bit of a jam right now. So we are at the 3:48 mark of the second quarter. It is Hanks leading Isleta 20-6.
All right, Jeremy Karanko on the call there. What a game there for the Hanks Knights. Once again, their first year under new head coach Scott Valise. Hanks leading Isleta 20-6. That in the second quarter. Once again, we want to remind you, I'll give you an update on our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle leading Bel Air 21-14. A huge game between Riverside and Bowie for the district title. Still in the first quarter, Riverside leads Bowie 28-21. That's right, 49 points combined in the first quarter alone between Riverside and Bowie. Also an interesting game over in Alan Sepkowitz Stadium. Andrus hosting Chapin. Andrus once led 14-0, but Chapin roared back. It's now tied at 14. Once again, Chapin and Andrus tied at 14. Let's go out to Andrus Eagle Stadium, and let's join Jerry Alvarez for an update from Chapin and Andrus. Jerry.
Yes, it is 9:04 left in the second quarter, and Andrus actually just scored on a 1-yard TD run by Jaden Urbina, quarterback. Andrus now leads Chapin 21-14. That 1-yard run was set up by a 45 yards run up the middle by Marcus Wilson. After Andrus had struggled a little bit offensively, they get that one big play and are able to punch it in from 1 yard out. So currently it is 9:04 left in the second quarter. Andrus leads Chapin 21-14.
All right, Jerry, thank you very much. What a game there between Chapin and Andrus. Now let's head out to Adrian Tillis, Mountain View hosting Pecos. At last check, Pecos led Mountain View 20-14, start of the third quarter. Let's get an update from Adrian Tillis. Adrian.
26 seconds left in the third quarter. Your score, Pecos 28, Mountain View 14. It's been off Pecos in the second half. Alejandro Lerma fumbled the ball at the 48-yard line on the next drive. Quintela from Pecos was scored on a 48-yard rushing touchdown. Pecos goes for the 2-point conversion, and it's good. So with 26 seconds left in the third quarter, your score is Pecos 28, Mountain View 14.
All right. Thank you so much, Adrian. 28-14 now. Pecos over Mountain View. This one slipping away from the Mountain View Lobos over at Lobo Stadium. Let's head out. Let's say, Angel, we got everybody calling in now. Who's next?
We have Ryan Vidalis on the line and Adrian Broadus.
Okay, Ryan Vidalis. Let's head out to Jefferson Silver Fox Stadium. Ryan Vidalis there on the calls. Jefferson is hosting Burgess. Ryan, what do you have for us?
With 28 seconds left till halftime, it is the Burgess Mustangs 14 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6. That last Burgess Mustangs touchdown came off of a 11-yard touchdown run by Caleb Hanna. He took the sweep out to the left, reached for the pylon, and found pay dirt. Right now, though, currently Jefferson is getting things going. They are rolling right now. However, they only have one timeout left. There is about 14 seconds left, and they do have about 25 yards left to get to the end zone. I don't know if they're going to have enough time with that one touchdown. Quarterback Jesus Gomez is currently 0 for 5 right now in their passing game, so they haven't got much going through the air. If they're going to have to rely on the run, it's going to be tough. Once again, with 14 seconds left till halftime, that is the Burgess Mustangs 14 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6.
And Bo Jefferson, you just heard it from Jerry, is absolutely right. They cannot throw the football at all. Their quarterback, Jesus Gomez, just a sophomore. It's a kid who's going to get stronger. If they're going to move the ball, it has to be on the ground. The one advantage, Burgess's biggest bugaboo all season long, their run defense. So that matches up pretty well. On the other side, though, the best thing Jeff probably does is their run defense. They load the box 7 guys, and it looks like Burgess is still able to run the football. We've heard Caleb Hanna, I told you 500 yards over the last couple of weeks, hasn't slowed down a bit. Couple of touchdowns, one from 60-plus, and what was it, the 11-yarder to give them the 14-6 lead.
Absolutely. Boy, what a game there. Once again, Burgess leading Jefferson 14-6 just before halftime. Jefferson driving. Hey, let's see if we're out of the second quarter now. Over at Beatty Semang Stadium, Adrian Broadus, last check, it was 28-21 Riverside in the first quarter. Adrian Broadus, what do you have for us?
Hey, guys, 11 minutes left here in the first half. That's right, we've got out of that crazy first quarter, but craziness has not stopped us here as Bowie has just scored thanks to a second Abraham Carrasco rushing touchdown, this one from 2 yards out, and it was set up thanks to a 27-yard pass to his wide receiver, Antonio Ontiveros. And by the way, guys, Ontiveros balling tonight. 3 catches, 127 receiving yards so far. That touchdown from 70 yards out. He was my favorite player from Bowie last week, and he is coming through again tonight. What a game so far. And let's just recap it, guys. 8 touchdowns so far, 4 ties, 3 lead changes, 2 turnovers, but 0 punts throughout this game. On Bowie's side, 205 total yards of offense, led by their 127 through the air. On the Riverside side of things, 159 yards of total offense, but very balanced. 80 through the air, 79 on the ground, and really keeping pace here tonight. So again, I'll send it back to you guys. 11:45 left here in this second quarter. Tie game, Bowie 28, Riverside 28.
Ontiveros, Bowie's best athlete, not even close. Also punts and kicks. Had a 35-yard field goal last week in the Austin loss. Underway out at the SAC, J.D. Sursley just sends this to us. Alex Ortiz, a 12-yard TD run. America is on their way to wrapping up the 4th and final playoff spot, their first playoff trip since 2019. That's when Aaron Dumas was a junior and ran for a city record 3,184 yards, I think it was. America's out on top of Socorro 7-0. 9:53 left to play in the first quarter at the SAC.
All right, to J.D. Sursley and Paul McKinnon, thank you very much. Once again on our 915 Tours Game of the Week, Del Valle leads Bel Air 21-14 in the second quarter. We're going to take a break. We're going to get to our Ignitify local scoreboard and go through all of these games. What a night we have. It's the final night of the high school football regular season. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night, where we're running out of ink here in our studio and also Beatty Semang Stadium. We're going to get to those amazing statistics in just a little bit. Let's get to our Ignitify local scoreboard. Let's start in 6A, the afternoon game over at the Student Activities Complex. Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. In the late game, already underway at the SAC, Americus taking on Socorro. The Blazers lead the Bulldogs 7-0, that in the first quarter. In 5A, in our 915 Tours Game of the Week, the Del Valle Conquistadors lead Bel Air 21-17 in the second quarter. Also in the second quarter, it's Riverside and Bowie tied at 28. Yeah, that's not a typo. Riverside led Bowie at the end of the first quarter, 28-21. According to our reporter on site, Adrian Broadus, unofficially 383 yards of offense, 8 total touchdowns, 4 ties, 3 lead changes, 2 turnovers, and a partridge in a pear tree. Amazing there in the second quarter. Once again, Riverside and Bowie tied at 28. Also in the second quarter over at Alan Sepkowitz Stadium, Andrus Eagles and Chapin Huskies tied at 21. Andrus jumped out to an early 14-0 lead, but the Huskies have stormed back and they tied the game at 21 all in the second quarter. Isleta just scored to cut the Hanks lead at Excalibur Stadium. Hanks Knights lead the Isleta Indians 20-12 now in the second quarter. Also, 5A, Parkland leads Horizon 27-0. Down at Jefferson Silver Fox Stadium, Burgess leads Jeff 14-6. Now down to 4A. Monahans leading Clint now 34-0, that late in the game there, and Pecos has jumped out to a 2-touchdown lead. Pecos leads Mountain View 28-14, a very big game over at Mountain View's Lobo Stadium. In the third quarter, Fort Stockton, Oliver Fabens 49-0. Over in the New Mexico State playoffs, Las Cruces leading Los Lunas 14-0 in the second quarter, and meanwhile Mayfield leads Gadsden 7-6 in the 5A first-round playoff game over at Gadsden's Panther Stadium.
And, Bo, just a couple of out-of-town updates. Permian Midland now. Odessa Permian needs to win to stay in the playoff hunt. So far, so good. 21-7 at Midland. They lead the 8-1 Midland Ball Club. Remember, Midland and Legacy tied for first in the district. Permian, Odessa High, and Friendship all tied at 2-2 in third place. Two of those teams get playoff spots. One will not. Speaking of Friendship, they're doing their part. 31-20, still up on San Angelo Central. Legacy was down to Odessa High, 14-7. Now that game is 14 up as Odessa and Legacy slug it out. Remember, the big schools are Permian and Odessa. If they both make the playoffs, that will push Midland Legacy, if they're still in the playoffs, down to the small school playoffs. That's Eastwood and Americas if they keep up with their 7-0 lead over Socorro. Any other scores of import? Quick look. Wiley still leads Cooper 10-7. Remember, the winner of that gets the loser of Andrus and Chapin, and the loser of Chapin and Andrus gets the winner. I think I said the same thing again, but anything else? Paladuro leads Plainview 21-7. The winner of that contest will get first place Canutillo. So that's who Canutillo is waiting for. Estacado all over Lakeview, 63-0. They're going to take second place in 1-4A Division I. And Seminole all over Perryton, 35-14, a battle of second place, second seeds behind West Plains. West Plains is going to be the champ in 1-4A Division II. Seminole looks like they're going to grab the 2-hole, which is somebody that Mountain View, if they're able to stage a monstrous comeback versus Pecos down 28-14, or the Clint Lions, either of those teams getting into the playoffs could run into the winner or loser, Seminole and Perryton. 35-14, Seminole leads it.
All right, Paul McKinnon with that out-of-town scoreboard. The out-of-town scoreboard and local scoreboard brought to you by Ignitify. Ignitify is your AC installation service provider. They have over 20 years of experience in El Paso and a 5-star rating on Google. Don't take it from us. Call them today to set up an appointment. Ignitify is known for maintenance and repairs to your cooling system. Visit ignitifyep.com to get started today. Now time for our 915 Tours Game of the Week update. Let's go out to Brandon Cohn at Conquest Stadium, Del Valle, hosting Bel Air. Brandon.
4:45 remaining in this opening half, and Del Valle is now taking a 28-17 lead over Bel Air at the 8:10 mark of the second quarter. Bel Air attempts a 30-yard field goal, and kicker Rafael Cordova boots it in, making the score Del Valle 21-17 over Bel Air. Beautiful 13-play, 60-yard drive by the Highlanders, but then you just can't stop Del Valle as they come back at the 6:47 mark, and they continue to be flawless. Espetti finds Jonathan Estrada on a 53-yard touchdown toss. The PAT was good. Get this, Espetti, perfect this half so far, 11 for 11, 173 yards. Unbelievable first half for Jake Fetty, the sophomore. Also 8-0 as a starter his sophomore year. 4:38 remaining here in the opening half, and Del Valle now has the 28-17 edge over Bel Air.
And, Bo, things getting tight down at Mountain View. Eric Dominguez, TD reception, gets them within 28-21. Adrian tells us Mountain View tries an onside kick with 7:40. Surprise onside still with 7:40 left in the contest. Do not recover. Pecos recovers. So the Mountain View defense trying to grab that football back, get it back to their high-octane offense. 28-21, they trail that one. Remember, Mountain View wins the contest. Touchdown and a two-point conversion will do that. They go to the playoffs. Clint goes home. They would have to win this one by more than 10 points for Mountain View and Clint to both go to the playoffs. That apparently doesn't look like it's going to happen in the last 7 minutes, 40 seconds. It's Mountain View or sadness for them, happiness for Clint.
Absolutely. There you go. We'll have an update from Steve Escahade over at Clint in just a moment. Also, Adrian Tellis on that Mountain View game. Let's head out to Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. 49 points scored in the first quarter. Let's get an update from Adrian Broadus as Bowie's hosting Riverside. Adrian.
Hey, guys, we've got 5:13 left here in the opening half. Riverside has just taken a 35-28 lead over Bowie. They got back on the board, and it's the third total touchdown for quarterback Derek Vasquez. On a broken play, quarterback Derek Vasquez hit his wide receiver Tristan Lopez for a 24-yard passing touchdown to put them back on the board and give them another lead. Bowie has already crossed midfield, but now they face a 3rd and 8 down to the Riverside 47-yard line. With 4:51 left here in the opening half, Riverside currently leads Bowie 35-28.
All right, Adrian Broadus, thank you so much. Wow, what a game there so far. Defense thrown out the window tonight over at Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. Once again, 35-28. Riverside leads Bowie in the second quarter. What a game between Andress and Chapin. District rivals, Northeast rivals. Jerry Alvarez has it all over at Alan Sepkowitz Stadium. For an update, let's go out to Jerry. Jerry, take it away.
There's 2:25 currently left in the second quarter. It is Andress 21, Chapin 21. Both teams seem to just be answering each other back and forth. The latest touchdown was done by number 3, Ortega of Chapin on a 4-yard TD run that was set up by number 4, Singleton, after he rushed it down the field 38 yards to set him up in perfect scoring position. Currently, Andress has the ball and driving on Chapin's 26-yard line, looking to answer back just before we're ending this half. So again, it's 2:24 and counting, and it is all tied up here. Chapin 21, Andress 21.
All right, Jerry Alvarez on the call there. What a game there between Chapin and Andress over at Andress High School. 21-all in the second quarter. Fun one blooming between Hanks and Isleta over at Excalibur Stadium. Let's go out to Jeremy Caraco for an update on Hanks hosting Isleta. Jeremy.
Halftime here at Excalibur Stadium as the incredible Hanks Marching Band plays for its senior night. The score is Hanks 20 and Isleta 12. The just of Isleta's scores have come off 2 big pass plays from DeAndre Jackson receiving from Evan Martinez, both a 61 and 51-yard touchdown to keep them in this ballgame, with 2 missed extra points, and Hanks has also missed an extra point. So lots of missed kicks tonight, but the Hanks have the lead, and thanks in part to Michael Oliver with 2 rushing touchdowns, 24 carries in that first half. The Hanks rushing attack knows that the Isleta defensive, the corners have been playing great all season long. They held Jake Fetty to just barely over 100 yards, and Bel Air at about 120. So Hanks is taking advantage, and they had a big defensive play as well as Justin Allen recovered a fumble for a touchdown just before the half to give Hanks their third score on the night. So we are at halftime here at Excalibur Stadium. It's the Hanks Knights leading the Sleta Indians 20-12.
All right, Jeremy Karanka with that halftime report. Jeremy, go enjoy the Hanks spread over there at Excalibur Stadium. Thank you for that halftime report. Halftime report's brought to you by Prep One. Remember, photos by Prep One and final scores for Football Friday Night on our website, 600ESPNElPaso.com. Make sure to subscribe to the Football Friday Night On Demand for the replay of each show. Football Friday Night On Demand is available wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get out to 4A now. Let's get down to a 6 p.m. kickoff between Clint and Monahans. At halftime, it was 19-0 Monahans. Let's see how the Lions are doing. Let's get an update from Steve Escajeda. Steve.
Thanks a lot, guys. We've got 37 seconds left to go in the ball game, and Monahans well out in front of the Clinton Lions 40-0. As you all said, it was a 6 p.m. start tonight. That's why we're way ahead of everybody else. Again, Monahans up 40-0, and they've scored a little bit about every way you can tonight. They've got a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, 2 fumble returns for a touchdown, a kickoff return for a touchdown, and a blocked punt recovery in the end zone touchdown. So, again, they've done it almost everywhere you can. They've been led by their quarterback, Chino Navarrete. He's got 67 yards rushing, a touchdown on the ground. He's only completed 2 passes, but one of them went for 32 yards to Nathan Wessels. Again, he's having a good night tonight. Clint is led on the ground by Colin Ivey so far, 18 carries, 86 yards. But again, it's been all Monahans tonight. But Clint is still in the running for a playoff berth. Again, they're awaiting the final of the Mountain View Beckwith game. If Beckwith defeats Mountain View tonight, Clint will sneak in as a 4th seed in the playoffs. And as we heard earlier, midway through the 4th quarter, Beckwith is holding on to a narrow 28-21 lead. So this one's almost over, about 25 ticks to go in the ball game. It is Monahans all over Clint, 40-0.
All right, Steve Escajeda reporting from Lion Stadium. Steve, thank you so much. All Monahans all night long over at Clint Lobo Stadium, 40-0 with just seconds to go there. Let's head out to Mountain View. We just talked about that big Mountain View Pecos game. Last check, it was 28-21 Pecos over Mountain View. Let's get an update from Adrian Tellis over at Lobo Stadium. Adrian.
4:22 left in the 4th quarter. Your score, Pecos 35, Mountain View 21. Caleb Foss just ran for a 1-yard rushing touchdown that now extends the lead for Pecos to 14. So with 4:22 left, your score, Pecos 35, Mountain View 21. If this score stays like this, that means Mountain View season will come to an end. Pecos and Clint will be in.
All right, Adrian Tellis, thank you so much. That's a lot. Boy, the Clint Lions are huge Pecos fans tonight. Yep.
Without a doubt. And it's went terribly wrong for them. A year ago up in Pecos, Mountain View was able to pull this off. Mountain View's mission, if they decide to accept it, make sure the ball does not go to Pecos again. You got to drive the field. You got to punch it in. You got to kick your extra point. You got to find an onside kick that works this time. I think that they're down to a few minutes left in this one. Like I said, if Pecos gets the ball back at any juncture, Mountain View is dead. They might be dead anyway.
There you go. Well, we'll see. We'll have more from Adrian Tellis in just a little bit. But once again, a 2-touchdown lead for Pecos over Mountain View at Lobo Stadium. Let's head out to back to 5A. Let's go out to Emperor Stadium. Horizon hosting Parkland. Let's get an update from Angel Torres. Last check, Parkland was up 27-0, but this one has been all Matadors all night. Angel, what do you got for us?
By a score of 37-0, the Parkland Matadors lead the Horizon Scorpions at halftime. Parkland's Vicente Hernandez was the latest Matador to get in on the action as he blocked a Horizon punt and returned it 15 yards for the scoop and score. Defense showed up as well for Parkland as defensive end Isaac Ramada forces a Robert Rodriguez fumble that trickled out behind the end zone for a safety. Parkland's one milestone to note, Parkland's Caleb Martinez was 17 yards shy from reaching 1,000 return yards on the season, has 1 return for 10 yards, leaving him 7 shy of that milestone. So at halftime, it is all Parkland 37-0.
All right, Angel Torres, thank you so much. Nice job out there. Boy, what a first half for the Parkland Matadors as they lead Horizon 37-0. Also at halftime, let's go out to Ryan Vidalis over at Silver Fox Stadium. This game has gone to half. Jefferson hosting Burgess. Ryan, take it away.
Stadium, it is at the half here at Silver Fox Stadium. It is the Burgess Mustangs 14 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6. This game was basically a tale of two quarters. First quarter kind of dominated by the Jefferson Silver Foxes, keeping the Burgess Mustangs off the field almost the entire quarter, limiting them to only 3 plays in that first quarter. Running back Miguel Rubio has finished the first half with 8 carries for 72 yards. However, the Silver Foxes have been unable to get anything going through the passing game, only completing 1 out of 7 attempts for 2 yards. On the other hand, Burgess, after that slow start in the first quarter, really got things going during the second quarter. Running back Caleb Hanna has 9 carries for 112 yards and 2 touchdowns. Quarterback Alex Rios has 4 for 8 through the air, 32 yards. However, he also has 2 big touchdown drops by his wide receivers that haven't helped him in that second quarter. Looking to keep things rolling, the Burgess Mustangs will look to running back Caleb Hanna in that second half to get things rolling. So once again, at the half, it is the Burgess Mustangs 14 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6.
All right, Ryan Vidalis on the call there. Thank you so much. Burgess leading Jeff 14-6. A big 8-point lead for Burgess over at Jefferson.
And that 8-point lead is really like a 21-point lead. Not to be repetitive, but let's be repetitive. Remember, the Burgess Mustangs can lose this game and still go to the playoffs, finish 4th in District 158 Division II, and earn a trip to Wichita Falls Ryder, who is terrific. And I'm sure the weather is great there as well. But Burgess can lose by 13 or fewer and still that fall into 3-way tie and win the tiebreaker on point differential. But 14-6, they're up. But like I said, in a sense, they're up 21. They can afford to give away 20 points and still come out smelling like a rose, if you will.
And speaking of 5A Division II, the Austin Panthers lead the Irvin Rockets this in the second quarter, 14-7. Austin over Irvin just before halftime. So once again, 14-7, Austin over Irvin just before halftime. Last check too, Americus scored right off the bat, leading Socorro 7-0.
Now 14-0. J.D. Sursley tells us.
Okay. Let's head out to J.D. Sursley over the Student Activities Complex. Believers getting ready. We're going to go out to J.D. right now and get him on the line. Angel, do we have J.D. on the line? Okay, let's go out to JD for an update on Socorro hosting Americus over at the Student Activities Complex. JD.
All right, 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Americus 14, Socorro 0. Anthony Ortiz, number 4, is the starting quarterback for Americus. So far, 70 passing yards, 18 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 running, 1 passing. Anthony Miranda Jr., the guy who has trouble with injuries this year, said, all right, with people with amnesia, I'll show you who I really am again. 39-yard reception touchdown for him. Cameron Johnson, number 25, looking like an alley cat, slipping and diving around people's tackles with 104 yards already on the ground. Socorro, not too much. They just turned it over on downs also. Americas did miss a field goal, and up here from our view, obviously it's hard to tell if it went in or not, and then the refs didn't even do a signal, so obviously they were definitely was missed. They just walked away in shame. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left. Americas 14, Socorro 0.
And a really good sign that Miranda's on the floor. Remember, he went down against Coronado. They ran a jet sweep, and he had a lower leg ankle, obviously. That was a couple of weeks ago. And they don't need him in this game against Socorro. I mean, you want to win, but, you could do it with some other folks. The fact that Miranda's on the field, to me, I think is a great sign. Shows that he really is healthy. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be playing in this when they just save him up for a by-district a week from now.
Very much so. Hey, let's go down to 5A over at Andress. Davion Singleton, according to our reporter Jerry Alra, is on site. Davion Singleton, a 6-yard touchdown run. Chapin has taken the lead, 28-21 over the Andress Eagles. Remember, Andress led that game 14-0, but Chapin has stormed back, leading Andress 28-21.
Another injured Uber athlete in the city, Kerry Wade, dressed and sat and watched early on, but once Chapin got down 14-0, it was time to bring Superman in off the bench, and 28-21 now. I'm sure he's had his hand in that.
Very much so. Down to 4A, we have a final. Fort Stockton defeats Fabens 56-6. Once again, that's a final. 56-6, Fort Stockton over Fabens. Fabens ends the season 3-7 overall. Let's now go to the Land of Enchantment. We have some exciting playoff games. That's right, first round of the playoff games all over the state of New Mexico. Let's head out to 5A. The Gadsden Panthers, the 8th seed, hosting the 9th-seeded Mayfield Trojans. What a game there for Gadsden at home hosting Mayfield. Let's go out to Russ Bannister for a halftime report of this game. Russ.
Yeah, welcome to the campus at Gadsden High School in the Joe. At halftime, we have a score of Gadsden 12, Mayfield 7. Mayfield opened the scoring on a 15-yard pass interception by Jalen Villadano, and extra point was good. Gadsden kicked off, Mayfield kicked off and drove down to about the 2-yard line, and Mayfield recovered a fumble. And they drove, and Gadsden recovered another fumble. So finally, the offenses have got settled down a little bit, and Gadsden finally got on the scoreboard with a pass from Adrian Munoz to Stephen Morales. Was a 22-yard pass. The kick was no good, so it was now we have Mayfield 7 and Gadsden 6. At the 51 seconds remaining in the half, Gadsden, on the arm of Adrian Munoz, threw a 15-yard pass, a touchdown pass to Zach Minharas. Again, they went for 2, and it was they fumbled the ball, and so it was no good. So at halftime, we have Gadsden 12 and Mayfield 7.
And, Bo, this just in from Adrian Broadus out at Bowie's Beatty Samang. Right before halftime, Riverside starting to separate that good freshman. Carlos Rojas, a 16-yard TD reception, 42-28 now. Riverside up 14, as I said, headed to break out at Bowie.
42-28. Riverside over Bowie. Wow. Let's go back to the Land of Enchantment for a moment. And Russ Bannister, thank you very much. Once again in 5A, Gadsden leading Mayfield 12-7 at halftime. Up in 6A, the first round, number 7 Las Cruces, right? That's Cruces, the 7th seed, hosting 10th seed Los Lunas. Las Cruces Bulldogs lead that one 21-0 in the second quarter. Down in 3A, Dexter, the 6th seed, leads Hatch Valley, the 11th seed, 14-0. That is in the second quarter. Also down at Anthony's Wildcat Stadium, Anthony trails Ozona right now in the fourth quarter, 29-13.
And America's High, taking care of business out at the SAC. Anthony Miranda, once again, 36-yard touchdown reception. They lead 21-0. What a nice group of receivers America's has. Throw Abdiel Rincon in there. Aaron Dumas's little brother, Omarion Dumas, he's a viable target. And you got a guy that I think probably has the best arm in the city, Mark Moore, tag into the Coronado game. I saw him throw a ball 60 yards in the air, and I don't think the wind was blowing. They can be explosive. They're a team to watch, obviously, as playoffs roll around. And as of tonight, 21-0, a win and they're in. I think the America's Trailblazers are going to be there for the first time since 2019.
There you go. Once again, second quarter, Americus leads Socorro High School 21-0. Once again, in the second quarter. That's a look at all of your games right now. We're going to come back, take after a break, go through everything, go back out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air, and we have an update from Paul McKinnon.
I'm not from that one, but I'm looking at Pecos. 131 left in that one. That nice receiver, Eric Dominguez, 10-yard touchdown catch. As I said, 131 left in that one. Pecos still leads Mountain View 35-27, an 8-point spread. Mountain View obviously going to onside kick, try and recover and see if Mr. Dominguez can get his hands on another one in the end zone. Go for two to tie.
Okay,
they win, and they're in the playoffs.
We're going to take a break, and we're going to head back out to Adrian Tellis, get an update on that Mountain View Lobo game, Mountain View hosting Pecos. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Week 11 of Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. In our 915 Tours Game of the Week, this game's just gone to halftime. Del Valle leads Bel Air 28-17. We'll have a halftime report from Brandon Cohn in just a little bit. Another update from Adrian Broadus over at Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. Riverside has scored again. Another touchdown from quarterback Derek Vasquez. Riverside now leads Bowie by 21. in the second quarter, 49-28. Riverside over Bowie in the second quarter. Now, what a game we have brewing over at Mountain View's Lobo Stadium. Time winding down. Let's go to Adrian Tellis for an update on Mountain View hosting Pecos. Adrian.
And it's all over for Mountain View High School. Your final, Pecos 35, Mountain View 27. That's going to put an end to the season for the Mountain View Lobos, securing a playoff spot for the Pecos Eagles and the Clint Lions. Speaking with the Pecos radio crew, Pecos will be playing Seminole for the Bi-District Championship, where site and time has yet to be determined. So your final from Mountain View High School, Pecos 35, Mountain View 27.
All right, Adrian Tellis, thank you so much for that update. Once again, Pecos winning it 35-27. They will play Seminole in the Bi-District round of the playoffs. Now, what does that do for the Clint Lions? They're going to the playoffs. Let's go out to Steve Escajeda at Clint Lions Stadium, where, Steve, if you got a great reaction from them if they just heard that they're going to the playoffs?
Well, you know what? They just started cheering when they heard the final score, and they just waiting on that. We're just waiting to hear the good news. Again, Clint, kind of a semi-sweet evening. They get beat by Monahans 40-0 tonight, but they do sneak into the playoffs as a 4th seed thanks to that Pecos victory over Mountain View. And I got some final stats in this ball game. First of all, for Monahans, again, they finished the season as the 1-4-8 champions, 10-0 on the year. Great year for them. In fact, their closest game of the year, the whole season, they won by only 21 points. That was their closest game. They were led tonight by their quarterback, Cheno Navarrete, 4 carries, 67 yards, a touchdown run. He also only completed 2 passes on the night, but one of them was a 32-yard touchdown to Nathan Wessels. And you might wonder, wait a minute, only 1 touchdown run, only 1 pass. How do they score 40 points? Well, they also had 2 fumble returns for touchdowns, a kickoff return for a touchdown, a blocked punt that was recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. So again, the offense could sit back tonight, take an evening off, and let everybody else do the scoring for a change. For the Clint Lions, they were led on the ground. That running attack put up 195 yards total tonight. Colin Ivey, 86 yards on the ground to lead them, and Zach Delgado, 9 carries for 39 yards. And that's about it. Again, 216 total yards in the ball game for Clint to 183 for Monahans. But like I said earlier, they didn't need much offense at all tonight to get their 40 points. So again, Monahans wins the district, but Clint, by virtue of Pecos defeating Mountain View, they will finish as a 4th seed in District 1-4A, and they sneak into the playoffs. Final score here at Clint, they lose the ball game, but their fans are delirious. Monahans over Clint 40-0.
All right, Steve Escajeda, thank you so much for that call. What a game, night, I should say, for the Clint Lions. I think this makes now 16th playoff appearance in the last 17 years for Roswell Martinez and the Clint Lions.
Yeah, it was 14 straight before the exact opposite thing happened last year. Mountain View had to beat Pecos to get in, and they did, and then knocked Clint out. What a bitter way to go out. So, 365, we've come full circle. Clint in the exact same situation. What a miserable week it had to be for them, and really no chance to improve your lot. You're going up against Monahans. You just heard their closest game, a 21-point victory, and they probably coasted that one as well. So, Clint, you can feel the big sigh of relief. I feel the breeze all the way from Clint Lions Stadium. What a big night for them. You got pounded by Monahans. That was always going to happen, but you're back in the playoffs. I think it was 14 straight snapped last year, so in my head that's 15 in 16 years. You got it. Roosevelt Martinez is as successful as anybody. Absolutely. And the number 2 tenured coach in the city, right behind Scott Brooks.
Absolutely.
At one place, throw Darren Walker in there with his time at Chapin.
Absolutely. Once again, Monahans improves to 10-0 with a 40-0 victory over the Clint Lions, who fall to 4-6. But Clint scoots into the playoffs thanks to Pecos defeating Mountain View 35-27. Let's head out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Get a halftime update. Delvi leading Bel Air 28-17. Let's join Brandon Cohn for this halftime update. Brandon.
Yes, it is a halftime here on senior night in Del Valle with that 28-17 edge over Bel Air. Let's look at some halftime stats for the Del Valle Conquistadores. Quarterback Jake Fetty, nearly flawless in the first half, 14 of 16, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pass, 1 rush. Running back Juan Archuleta, he's got it done on the ground thus far, 11 carries for 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. And his wideout, Jonathan Estrada, he has got a touchdown reception on a beautiful 53-yard reception there in the first half. For the Highlanders, their quarterback, Noah Moreno, 15 of 25. Moreno, thus far, has 227 yards. He's been able to do it through the air, 2 touchdowns. He did have an interception late in the first half. That was their only blunder of the first half, the Bel Air Highlanders. And also his wideout, Mark Mukibi, has been his ace in the hole on offense, 5 receptions, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns. A very entertaining first half and certainly a lot of offense, but again, a lot on the line here as Del Valle trying to win their 3rd District 1-5A Division I championship in a row. Of course, Bel Air trying to win their first share of the district championship, any district championship for them since 1991. It's half, and at the half at Conquest Stadium, it is 28-17 in favor of Del Valle.
All right, Brandon Cohn, thank you so much. Wow, what a game there. Remember, Del Valle put up 66 on Bel Air a year ago. This one much tighter, 66-7. This one much tighter, 28-17. Del Valle leading Bel Air at halftime. Also at halftime, the Riverside Rangers and Bowie Bears finally, I think after maybe about 2,000 yards of offense, wow. I'm being sarcastic. Riverside leading Bowie 49-28 the half. Let's join Adrian Broadus for this halftime update. Adrian.
Hey, guys, thank you so much. It is halftime indeed. We're under 12 minutes left here for halftime, and the Riverside Rangers are all over the Bowie Bears right now, 49-28. Last time I spoke to you guys, I think it was 28-all at basically the beginning of the second quarter. And since then, Riverside has scored 3 unanswered touchdowns. First, it got started thanks to a 24-yard touchdown pass from their quarterback, Derek Vasquez, to their wide receiver, Tristan Lopez. After that one, Vasquez hit Carlos Rojas III, the freshman, from 16 yards out for another passing touchdown. That was after a turnover on downs by Bowie. And you got to give credit to defensive tackle Alan Pena. He had a fumble recovery earlier for the Rangers. He had a key sack on that drive to set the Bowie Bears back, and it eventually led to that turnover on downs. So Riverside went up 42-28, and then the Bowie punter was sacked on 4th down. Riverside had great field possession, scored right before the half, thanks to a rushing touchdown by quarterback Derek Vasquez. So again, Vasquez has 5 total touchdowns tonight, 2 through the air, 3 on the ground. He has 7 carries for 65 yards, and they're led right now on the ground by Noah Ramirez, who has 10 carries, 84 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown as well. 274 yards of total offense for the Riverside Rangers. Meanwhile, Bowie checking in not too far off, 235 yards of total offense, but they have a few turnovers under their belt. A fumble, an interception, and then those 2 turnover on downs before the half ended. Abraham Carrasco, the quarterback, he is 3 for 5 through the air, 127 yards of passing, 2 passing touchdowns in this game. And he also has he has 1 passing touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 from 7 yards out, 1 from 2 yards out. And running back Alan Mota is currently leading them on the ground, 10 carries, 91 rushing yards here tonight. So I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. 9 minutes left here. Senior night festivities here at halftime. Riverside up 49-28 over Bowie.
All right, Adrian Broadus with the report there from Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. What a first half between these two teams. And Riverside leads it by 21, 49-28 at halftime. Also at halftime, Chapin Huskies and Andrus Eagles, the old Northeast rivals. Let's go to Jerry Alvarez for this halftime report. Jerry.
All halftime here at Allen Sipwood Stadium. Currently, Chapin is winning 28-21 over the Andrus Eagles. It has been a back-and-forth game all night, very exciting. Andrus did go up 14-0 quick in the first quarter. Chapin did answer back after they decided to put Davion Singleton in at quarterback, and he tied it up with two big runs, one from 34 and one from 29, both for touchdowns to tie it up at 14. Since then, Singleton has had 8 carries for 134 yards, and he added another touchdown to those 2 touchdowns he already had. Their next workhorse has been number 3, Ortega, who has 7 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown, and he's been doing big things for them. Total passing attempts have been 4 on the night. They've only thrown 4 times, but they've racked up 220 offensive yards so far in the first half. Andrus, on the other hand, their workhorse has been Marcus Wilson, who has 12 carries for 70 yards and 1 touchdown. Eric Bulger also is receiving, has 4 receptions for 89 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown being for 34 yards. Jaden Urbina is 5 for 7 on the night for 85 yards. He has 2 touchdowns, 1 passing and 1 rushing. Currently, the defenses haven't been able to do too much since that first drive where Andrus held Chapin to a 3-and-out. He has been all offense all night. Very exciting. It is 9 minutes left here at halftime, and Chapin leads Andrus 28-21.
And Bo, apparently my boy Blucher, my favorite guy, his name is actually Bulcher. In all the literature, it's Blucher. Lightning and the horses. But this is the 3rd straight week our guys have been calling him Bulcher, so I'm going to assume they're right. Hey, let me just quickly insert from District 2-6A some scores. Odessa Permian, I'm reading this one as a final. Permian beats Midland 21-14. Permian is going to make it to the playoffs. A loss tonight would have knocked him out. Midland Legacy up on Odessa High 29-21. Friendship all over Central 41-26. What this currently means, if this holds up, Legacy wins the district, first place. Permian and Midland High will be tied for second, along with Friendship. 3-way tie for third place. Don't even need to break the tie. All we got to do is look at the big and the small. That's what's important about this. The fact that Permian is in and Odessa goes out, that's going to move Midland Legacy, the 3rd most populous team, not popular, populous, most kids there in that district. They will go to the big school playoffs. That's going to be with Pebble Hills and Montwood, of course, the 2 seeds. So those are going to be the 2 bigs, which means Eastwood is going to be looking at Friendship, and they're going to be looking at Midland High School. That's if things hold up the way they do. Midland Odessa, when they played head-to-head, Midland beat Friendship head up. That would probably give Midland the 1 seed in the small school, Friendship the 2 seed, which means Friendship likely coming to the Eastwood Troopers at a site and time to be determined. Julio Lopez seems to like his Fridays at 7 o'clock if he can kick it then, 6 or 6:30 if he cannot. And then, of course, the other games all shake out. Pebble Hills, they'll get to host next week as well. And it looks like the team they will be hosting will be the Odessa Permian Mojo, if I'm figuring this right on the fly. So nothing but more exciting games as looks like 2-6A is finally starting to shake out. Of course, the games we're looking at, they'll probably find a way to flip in the final minutes out in Central. So so this was just a waste of time.
Well, it's now we got a little bit of a clearer picture. We'll see as the night shakes out. We'll see what happens. We have some score updates from around the town once again. Burgess now into the 3rd quarter. Burgess leads Jefferson 21-6. And also in the 2nd quarter, Americus now leads Socorro 28-0. Up in the land of enchantment, Las Cruces High leads Los Lunas 28-0 at halftime. And Ozona and Anthony, last check, Ozona leading Anthony 29-13 late in the 4th quarter. Let's head out to Adrian Tellis. Let's get a wrap up from the Mountain View loss to Pecos, 35-27. Pecos defeats Mountain View, meaning Clint goes to the playoffs, and Mountain View is out. For this final wrap-up, let's go to Adrian Tellis. Adrian.
That's right. Your final from Mountain View High School, Beckles 35, Mountain View 27. Beckles sophomore quarterback Omar Salgado finished the night 12 for 14 with 157 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 9 carries, 11 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jonathan Sandoval for the Eagles had 6 receptions for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. Johnny Morales, the Beckles running back, went down on an injury on the last play of the drive for Beckles, but he finished the night with 13 carries, 54 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. For the Mountain View Lobos, their season comes to an end, but on the bright side, they will be bringing back junior quarterback Matthew Slosad and junior receiver Eric Dominguez. Slosad finished the night tonight 30 for 34, 368 yards passing, and 4 touchdowns. Eric Dominguez finished the night with 15 catches, 137 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns. Unfortunately, Mountain View couldn't get anything going on the ground. Alejandro Lerma finished the night with 10 carries for -4 yards rushing. Looking at the by-district scenario for Beckles, speaking with the Beckles radio crew, they're looking at playing Seminole Thursday, November the 9th, possibly at Ratliff Stadium, depending the outcome of what's going on with 2-6A out over there in Midland and in Odessa. So your final from Mountain View High School, Beckles 35, Mountain View 27.
And third place Pecos plays second place Seminole in 2-4A. They beat Perrytown tonight, or they were leading 35-14. They're going to win that one. I'm not sure if we mentioned it yet, but the Clint Lions, who grabbed the fourth and final playoff spot in 1-4A Division II, they are going to play West Plains. 9-1 on the season, 49-3. They destroyed Borger tonight. Remember, in 4A, nobody's a home team in those. Those are all neutral sites, and it's usually Pecos, Fort Stockton, Sol Ross, maybe an occasional Artesia there. The Clint ADs, along with all the other 4 ADs throughout the state of Texas, they'll be working on that stuff tonight, trying to figure out who's where and when.
Absolutely. So, once again, Mountain View falls to Pecos, 35-27. Adrian Tellis on the call there. We're going to step away. We're going to come back, go through our Ignitify local scoreboard. Lots to talk about in this final week of the regular season in high school football in the state of New Mexico and West Texas. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. We'll get out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air in just a moment. Also, we'll hit up our Ignitify local scoreboard. First, let's go out to the Student Activities Complex. Big game between the Americas Trailblazers and the Socorro Bulldogs. Let's get an update from J.D. Sursley. J.D., take it away.
Yeah, America's 28, Socorro Bulldogs 0. Cameron Johnson, 129 yards rushing, just looking so slick on the ground. Anthony Miranda Jr., the gentleman who is excited to be back, and he's killing Socorro with 84 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. Alex Ortiz, who is starting for America's number 4 quarterback, 113 passing yards, 36 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns total, 2 running, 2 passing. At halftime, I did ask one of the coaches what happened to Mark Moore, the third, number 1, the quarterback, why he isn't in there. Very smirk and dry. He said no comment, so that conversation went really well. They are on the far side of the sideline from my point of view, so I will try to see if I see a cast or anything. But as of now, Mark Moore is MIA. Socorro, Javante Thrasher is doing all he can, but with some penalties and, just lackluster play by Socorro, Americas is having their way, 28 to Socorro 0 at halftime.
All right, J.D. Sursley, thank you very much.
And Mark Moore not getting the snaps tonight. That's the first time since week 2 a year ago. And remember, that's because week 1 in the late third quarter, I think of that one versus Midland Christian, he got concussed and had to sit out a week. He's taken, for all I know, he's taken every snap since then, but not tonight. If it's disciplinary, you picked a great night to discipline somebody. When Socorro rolling in, a team that's not up to your level, obviously, but must-win game. You would think, even especially early first quarter, that Mark Moore would be out there. Discipline would be a good thing at this point. It beats the alternative of some form of injury.
Yeah, hopefully no injury out there, and it could be one of those things where Americas is just having their way with Socorro, up by 4 touchdowns, that they pull him and start a lower classman, underclassman to get some experience. You never know.
A little nicked up, but at the same time, Anthony Miranda, who couldn't finish the Coronado game a couple of weeks ago, is out on the field. So, two different standards for 2 different guys. Yeah, no telling what's going on. Hopefully it's all, out in the wash by next week, and when Americas is traveling in the small school 6A playoffs, likely to... Gosh, I don't even know. Let's see. What did I say? Permian and Legacy would be in the big. That leaves Midland High, probably to Midland High. They'll probably be traveling to the place formerly known as Grande Communications Stadium to face Midland High. I think that's how it's going to shake out. Although, scoreboard coming from 2-6A. I'll fill you in.
There we go. Let's start off with our Ignitify local scoreboard in our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle leads Bel Air 28-17 at halftime. That game just now into the third quarter. We'll go out to Brandon Cohn for an update in just a little bit. Also at halftime, Riverside leading Bowie 49-28. Chapin leading Andrus 28-21 at halftime. Hanks up on Isleta 20-12. And Parkland leading Horizon 44-0. Also, this one now in the third quarter, it's Burgess leading Jefferson 21-6. Also at halftime, Austin High leads Irvin 14-7. And once again, earlier in 6A, the early game today, Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. And Americas currently leads Socorro at halftime 28-0. In 4A, Fort Stockton defeats Fabens as a final 56-6. Monahans defeats Clint, shuts them out 40-0. And Mountain View and Pecos tops Mountain View 35-27 the final. The win by Pecos means Clint goes to the playoffs. All right, let's go to the Land of Enchantment. Before we get to our out-of-town scoreboard, let's go to the Land of Enchantment at halftime. In the 6A first round of the playoffs, Las Cruces leads Los Lunas 28-0. Winner of that game faces second seed Centennial next Friday night. That should be a fun one. Let's all go down to Gadsden in 5A. The Panthers lead Mayfield 12-7 in the 5A first round of the playoffs. Winner of that one gets top seed Roswell. And in 3A, the first round, Dexter leads Hatch Valley 14-0. In other action, last check, Ozona led Anthony 29-13. Now for your out-of-town scoreboard, here's Paul McKinnon.
Thanks, Bo. Let's see how many sheets I can look at one time and not get amazingly confused. Let's start with Permian Midland. Permian needed a win to get into the playoffs tonight, and that's exactly what they got. Went down to Midland and pulled out the 21-14 victory. They moved to 3-2 in the district, 6-4 on the season. Midland loses its second straight after starting the season, 8-0, 3-2. So Midland and Permian are tied for second behind Midland Legacy, 32-21. They now lead Odessa High. That's got to be late fourth quarter. If Legacy holds on to that one, they will be the district 2-6-8 champs, all by their lonesomes. 4-1, 8-2 on the season. Odessa on the final week would get knocked out of the playoffs because Friendship's still holding on at San Angelo Central. 1-8 Central is, 0-5 in the district. Friendship looking to move to 3-2, and that tie with Permian and Midland High, 41-34. Again, late fourth quarter. Friendship holds on to that 7-point lead. If they win, they're in the playoffs. If they don't, they're not. Elsewhere, District 1-5A, Lubbock Cooper all over Emerald Caprock, 46-0. They moved to 7-3 on the season. They'll be the 2 seed coming out of 1-5A D1. Amarillo High in a Thursday nighter grabbed third place in that district with a 61-28 win over Monterey. Tascosa did the same for the fourth and final playoff spot. 56-34, they beat Lubbock Coronado. And remember, in the 5As, the 4s play the 1s. So Lubbock Coronado, if Del Valle holds on to that Bel Air contest tonight, Amarillo Tascosa at 5-5 on the season will be traveling to Conquest Stadium. Amarillo, previously mentioned, the 3 seed. That one's still up in the air depending on the tiebreaker with Bel Air and Parkland. Whoever grabs the 2 seed will get to host Amarillo High coming to El Paso. 1-5A Division II, Abilene Wiley. They take down Abilene Cooper in the Battle of Abilene 17-7. They move to 4-1 in the district, second place. Abilene Cooper falls to third place. We've mentioned this a few times already. Both of these teams waiting on the Chapin-Andress winners and losers. Wiley will get the winner of Andress-Chapin. Cooper will get the winner. Wiley won. Cooper lost. Cooper gets the winner of Chapin-Andress. Wiley will get the loser. The loser will travel to Abilene Wiley, and Cooper will come to the winner of Andress and Chapin. Wichita Falls Rider, they're going to be the champs in that district, 49-7. They destroy Lubbock, no surprise. Last we heard, the battle for fourth place in that district, Palo Duro on top of Plainview, 21-7. And that would be Canutillo. Canutillo is waiting on Plainview and Palo Duro. If I was to guess, Canutillo loves those Thursday night contests. I would think Palo Duro likely is going to be coming up to Canutillo on a Thursday, not official, not even whispered thus far. Elsewhere, Lubbock Estacado all over Lakeview, 63-0. They'll grab the 2 seed in 1-4A Division I. Elsewhere, you heard Seminole. They finished off Perryton 56-28. Seminole and Pecos are going to hook up. And West Plains, that's next on Clint's agenda. So you go from the frying pan into the fire. Monahans tonight, West Plains next week. West Plains moves to 9-0 with the 49-3 beating of Borger. Clint in the playoffs. 15th time in 16 years, but boy, did they ever have their work cut out. I think the Burgess Mustangs, who are up on Jefferson and looking at a trip to Abilene Wiley, they can sympathize.
Absolutely. Boy, what a game tonight. And, hey, while you went through all those scores, Riverside scored again. No, really, they did.
Just once?
Third quarter, Riverside now up on Bowie, 56-28. We'll head out to Beatty-Cement Stadium, get an update from Adrian Broadus in just a moment. First, let's head back out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. It's Del Valle hosting Bel Air. Get an update from the Iceman, Brandon Cohn. Brandon.
10:20 remaining here in this third quarter. Del Valle maintains the 28-17 lead over Bel Air. Just worth mentioning, in the first half, Del Valle 291 yards of total offense. Bel Air 240 yards, certainly making this an interesting second half, to say the least. And worth mentioning, the winner of this one is going to host Amarillo Tascosa next Friday. Spoke with both coaches. They said that they would both be playing next Friday, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock for sure. And one last thing, as I did speak with Bel Air prior to kickoff, and it's worth mentioning that if they do happen to get the second seed, they would be hosting Amarillo High School at home. So just a little interesting fact there. As we have 9:50 remaining here in the third quarter, Del Valle is up 28-17 over Bel Air.
Great information, Brandon. Thank you so much. Great job on that information there. Once again, 28-17. Third quarter, Del Valle leads Bel Air over at Conquest Stadium. While I was just talking, wondering if Riverside scored again. Adrian Broadus and Bowie's Beatty Semeng Stadium. Bowie hosting Riverside. Let's get an update from Bowie hosting Riverside. Adrian. Okay, we'll get out to Adrian in just a little bit. We're going to go out to Adrian Broadus over at Bowie High School in just a little bit. We're going to go through some scores here. Just remind you, Chapin led Andress 28-21. Hanks now up on Isleta 23-12. And Parkland up on Horizon 44-0. Hey, we have updates from the Land of Enchantment. It's now Las Cruces High up on Los Lunas, 35-0, that game in the fourth quarter. Also in the fourth quarter, Gadsden and Mayfield. No score in the third. It's now still 12-7, Gadsden leading Mayfield now in the fourth quarter. Okay, let's head out to, you got an update, Paul?
Yeah, one thing from Andress Eagle Stadium. Chapin Andress currently in a delay, our Jerry Alvarez tells us. Bang, bang, bang was heard. Jerry's thinking fireworks, but you never can be too cautious with that stuff. So
hopefully it's fireworks, and so once again, Chapin and Andress in a delay, hopefully to fireworks. Let's head out to Bowie's Beatty Semeng Stadium, Bowie and Riverside. Let's get an update from Adrian Broadus. Adrian.
Guys, thank you so much. 6:25 left here in the third quarter. Riverside now leads Bowie in this one, 56-28. On the previous drive, which was the opening drive of the third quarter, you got to give credit to quarterback Derek Vasquez for another rushing touchdown. He now has 4 rushing touchdowns tonight. And just as I was speaking, guys, defensive end for the Rangers, Isaiah Diaz, has just picked off Bowie quarterback Abraham Carrasco. He's been intercepted twice today, and now the Riverside Rangers, after the Bowie Bears were putting together a nice drive to try to get back on the board for the first time since Riverside has scored 4 unanswered touchdowns, this drive ended in a turnover for the Bears. So I'll send it back to you guys. 6:17 left, Riverside ball after the turnover. They're up 56-28 over Bowie.
All right, Adrian Broadus with that update there. Wow, what a offensive night for the Riverside Rangers. Once again up 56-28, third quarter at Bowie's Beatty Semeng Stadium. Once again, we heard there is a delay between Chapin and Andress for an update. Let's go out to Jerry Alvarez over at Andress Allen Sepkowitz Stadium for an update. Jerry.
Yes, right now 11 minutes left in the second quarter, still on a delay, had a scary moment. It sounded like pop happened just under the stadium. People in the stands started running to one side of the stadium. Both teams ran off the field right away. Here in the press box, we all took cover, and currently teams are taking the field again, as admin has reported that it was just fireworks being popped underneath the stadium. Police were on scene and addressed the situation right away. Currently, they're still trying to get everything settled down. Both teams have come back out onto the field, out of the locker rooms. They are huddled up, getting ready to get this game back going again. So we'll see what goes on, what's going on. A scary moment for a lot of people here, but hopefully we can get back into this game as good as it's been. 11:09 left in the second. Chapin still leads 28-21, and we're still pending to kick this game back off.
All right, Jerry Alvarez for the update. Once again, thank you so much. Once again, Chapin leading Andress 28-21. Let's head out to Hanks Excalibur Stadium. Hanks hosting Isleta, this game in the third quarter. So to Jeremy Karanko for an update. Jeremy.
We have now just reached the fourth quarter, 11:52, and it is the Hanks Knights continuing to lead the Ysleta Indians by the score of 23-12. This only score this half has been a Victor Gutierrez 20-yard field goal. The Hanks rushing game has controlled this entire game, and guys, how about this? Jude Blanco, who is just 300 yards behind his brother, Michael Blanco, who set that all-time receiving record back in 2019, has just 3 catches tonight for 11 yards. That Ysleta defense has shut him down, but it has been the surprising rushing attack from Michael Oliver. Again, 33 carries tonight, 180 yards and 2 scores. And the Hanks defense has scored a touchdown off a fumble and has 2 interceptions off Evan Martinez. It's been the story of this game, and Hanks is continuing to run it right now with Oliver picking up another first down near midfield. So Hanks might essentially run this game out and get themselves in the playoffs. We'll see what happens, though. We have 11:52 left to go in this ball game. It is Hanks leading Ysleta 23-12.
And, Bo, I think Jeremy's all over that one. I think Hanks is ahead, and I think they got their head coach to not blame but credit. I think this is a scheme thing. They're going up against, one of the better defensive backfields. I would say the best in that 1-5A district, if not all of 1-5A. The Ysleta Indians defensive backfield has been fabulous. Hanks likes to throw the football. Jude Blanco was only 310 yards behind Big Brother, who set the all-time single-season receiving mark of 1,700-plus yards in 2019, and that was in 12 games. And this kid is just going into his 10th, so they can throw the football. And what do they say? These guys are pretty good. Let's try something else. We got this Michael Oliver kid. We talked to Scott Felice. It's been about a month and a half ago, and he crowed over Oliver. Oliver, one of his favorite kids, his best athlete, I think he told us at the time, and that's who they're using. Has he been their full-time halfback all season long? No. But when they've needed a big yardage from the running back position, they've plugged Oliver in, who also spends a lot of time on defense. They have the game of their season tonight. What do? They give the ball to the stud, their stud anyway, and they what is it? Discretion is the better part of valor. We throw the ball, but Ysleta is pretty darn good. Let's see what this Oliver kid can do. And they're up a couple of scores. They win this game. The Hanks Knights are going to the playoffs for the first time since 2019, when Michael Blanco was a senior, not Jude.
Absolutely. Hey, we have an update from the Land of Enchantment in the 5A first round of the playoffs. Mayfield, Luke Lennon with a 20-yard touchdown pass to Brian Coyle. PAT no good. Mayfield now takes a 1-point lead over Gadsden at Panther Stadium, 13-12 with 7.5 minutes to go in this one. So once again, Mayfield leads Gadsden 13-12 with 7.5 minutes to go.
And by the way, throw the Hanks Knights. Let's not rain on their parade. This could be a huge night for them. But talking about teams that are running into a buzzsaw, Hanks Knights make the playoffs, 4th and final spot. They get to travel to Abilene High. 6-0 in the district, 8-2. Remember, Abilene is the team, the first team that beat Odessa Permian to start the season off. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Absolutely. Hey, let's head out to Anthony's Wildcat Stadium. It's a final now. Anthony falls to Azona 29-13. Anthony finishes the season 3-6 overall. Let's go out to the Jefferson Silver Fox. No, let's head out to Emperor Stadium and Horizon hosting Parkland. Let's join Angel Torres for an update. This has been all Matadors all night long. Let's get an update from Angel. Angel, take it away.
With 10:45 remaining in the fourth quarter, Parkland is still ahead of Horizon 44-6. Horizon quarterback Robert Rodriguez was able to utilize the tush push around midfield, but ends up taking it 52 yards down to the 1-yard line, only to take that 1-yard plunge in for the touchdown a play later, which puts us where we're at. Parkland's Caleb Martinez has rushed for 172 yards last week in a win against Hanks. He has over 130 yards rushing tonight for injured starter Anthony Carrillo, who warmed up tonight but has yet to see the field. On another note, Horizon defensive end Donovan Hunter needs 1 sack for 10 sacks on the year. He has come close a couple of times, but has been his teammate Alfonso Dominguez with the only sack tonight. Once again, Parkland all over Horizon 44-6.
And Bo, in that district, remember, if Hanks holds on to beat Ysleta tonight, Bel Air will be regardless of what happens not regardless. If Bel Air loses to Del Valle, they will still hold on to the 2 seed in District 1-5A Division 1. They would fall into a tie with Parkland for second, both at 3-2. But the fact that Isleta would not get into a 3-way, Hanks would finish 2-3. As would Isleta. Hanks would take the 4 seed based on head-to-head. But Bel Air also beat Parkland, 2 weeks ago, in that big overtime game. Oscar Martinez, the hero in that one. Since Bel Air beat Parkland in a head-to-head, Bel Air would hold on to the 2 seed. And remember what that means in the 5As. You get to host, and that's exactly what you want to do. So Tascosa looking to come to Del Valle. Del Valle will get to host next week. Amarillo High will be traveling, if things stay the way they are, to the Bel Air Highlanders. And Parkland will have to trip to Lubbock Cooper. And as we already mentioned, the Hanks Knights, on the biggest night of their season, if they're able to hold on and take out Isleta, they get to take a trip up to the Monsters, Abilene High, 8-2 on the season.
Absolutely. What a fun one that will be. There we go. This is why this is the Texas playoffs, Final night of the regular season. Boy, it's a doozy. Hey, let's head out to Ryan Vidalis over at Jefferson Silver Fox Stadium, get an update as the Silver Foxes trailing the Burgess Mustangs. Let's get an update from Ryan. Ryan, take it away.
With 5:23 left in the fourth quarter, it is the Burgess Mustangs 28 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6. Just now coming on the air, we just had a touchdown score, and that was by number 22, Caleb Hanna from the Burgess Mustangs on a 13-yard run. That is his 3rd touchdown of the night. He's currently got 12 carries, 136 yards. Prior to that score, you also had backup running back Luke Dexter Quinn getting things going early in the third quarter with a 16-yard touchdown run. Jeff has been able to move the ball pretty well. However, they get things stalled every time they get into the red zone. However, they are milking the clock. They were kind of trying the same exact script as in the first quarter, but if they don't punch it in the end zone, they're not going to get things going. Once again, in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes and 23 seconds left, it is the Burgess Mustangs 28 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6.
All right, Ryan Vidalis on the call there from Jefferson Silver Fox Stadium. Ryan, thank you so much. In our 915 Tours Game of the Week, we got an update. Del Valle punches it in the third quarter. Del Valle leads at 35-17. We'll hear from Brandon Cohn in just a little bit. All right, we're going to head out all around town. Let's head out to J.D. Sursley from the Student Activities Complex. Get an update as Socorro's hosting Americus. J.D., what do you got for us?
All right, so they had technical difficulties, and it was senior night for Americus. So it is Americus 28, Socorro 0 still at halftime. Cameron Johnson, 129 rushing yards. Anthony Miranda Jr., who came back from his injuries, 84 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Alex Ortiz, who's in for Mark Moore at quarterback, 113 passing yards, 36 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns total, 2 running, 2 passing. Socorro, not so much, barely got past their 50-yard line towards the end of the half. Number 1 quarterback Travante Thrasher's trying, but lackluster play by his team. Socorro is definitely not pulling their own weight, a team overall. America's Trailblazers 28, Socorro Bulldogs 0, about to start the third quarter.
J.D. Sursley with the halftime report. Thank you so much, J.D. there. 28-0, Americus over Socorro. Hey, we got another touchdown by the Hanks Knights. Let's go out to Jeremy Karanko at Excalibur Stadium as the Hanks Knights are adding to their lead over the Isleta Indians. Jeremy, what do you got for us?
9 minutes left to go in this ballgame, fourth quarter, and the Hanks Knights have just punched in another touchdown. They lead it 29-12. And on that score, Marcus Bodas, an 8-yard quarterback keeper, just off a fresh 34-yard Jude Blanco reception, gets his biggest catch of the night in a crucial 3rd down and 14 inside the 20. And Hanks drives and punches in from 8 yards out. And Marcus Bodas, quarterback keeper, a big touchdown. The Hanks Knights have not seen the playoffs since 2019, and they're sniffing it just 8 minutes away. Again, 8 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. It's Hanks 29 and Isleta 12.
All right, as you can hear the bullhorns in the back there going off, the Hanks Knights have scored again, inching closer to the playoffs, leading Isleta 29-12. What a game there for the Hanks Knights, as they're looking to improve to 6-4. Let's head out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Get an update from Brandon Cohn as Delvi adds another touchdown to this game. Let's go out to Brandon at Conquest Stadium. Brandon, take it away.
5:03 left here, third quarter. Del Valle increasing their lead to 35-17 over Bel Air at the 5:36 mark here of the third. Fetty strikes again, this time throwing a 57-yard touchdown to his wideout, May. Fetty, 20 of 23, 284 yards, 3 touchdowns in this game, making the score the Conquistadores 35-17 over Bel Air. What can I say about this kid, Fetty? He's played a virtually flawless game. He's only a sophomore. Scary to think what he could do the last couple of years of his high school career. We have 4:56 remaining here in the third quarter. It's all Del Valle so far, 35-17 over Bel Air.
All right, Brandon Cohn, thank you so much. What a game there. 35-17. Del Valle leading it over Bel Air. Once again, remember, Del Valle put up 66 last year on the Bel Air Highlanders. Highlanders keeping it close, but finding it a tough way to score at Conquest Stadium to get back into this one.
Sorry, I just had something, back to action, Chapin and Andrus. I just had something on my screen from Jerry Alvarez and then that Adrian Broadus. What's up with that guy? Shot me something and knocked it off. Here we go. Hunter Standifer, remember his brother Mason, a 3-year starting quarterback at Chapin. Hunterfer gets his name into the headlights. 20-yard TD pass from Singleton, that with 9:53 left in the third quarter. Remember, that game was in a slight delay. Chapin now up on Andrus, 35-21.
All right, 35-21, Chapin. Look at that. Hey, let's get out to Beatty Smang Stadium and Adrian Broadus in just a little bit. Looks like Riverside has tacked on another touchdown. Per Twitter, an 84-yard bomb, Adrian saying.
2 again, Carlos Rojas, that terrific freshman. Remember, week 1, his first high school game ever is what are you at that division? 14 years old? Caught a couple of touchdown passes late. They could have actually tied us, Letta, if they didn't get a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Not on the freshman, on somebody else. 15 yards, they had to go for 2 instead of kicking a tying extra point. This Rojas kid has been magic from day one.
This is 35 unanswered points for the Riverside Rangers. This game was once tied at 28 in the second quarter. It's now been all Riverside. Once again, 35 unanswered points for the Riverside Rangers at the Bowie Bears. For an update, let's go out to Adrian Broadus from Beatty Semang Stadium. Adrian.
Hey, guys, 11 minutes to go in this one. Riverside up 63-28 over Bowie. And yes, like you guys mentioned, it's been all Riverside this half. And since the second quarter, really, it's been all the Rangers. And you got to give credit to quarterback Derek Vasquez. 7 total touchdowns in this game, 4 on the ground, 3 through the air. He just had that 84-yard touchdown pass that you talked about to freshman Carlos Rojas III. They now have 208 yards through the air, 231 on the ground, 439 total yards of offense, averaging almost 12 yards per play. Bowie's done a good job of moving the ball. They just haven't done a good job of executing on big downs like their previous drive when they were they actually turned the ball over with that interception. So you look at this game, it's been all Riverside in the second half, and largely it's large part due to Derek Vasquez, their quarterback, and what he's been able to do. On the ground, they're led by running back Noah Ramirez, who has 15 carries for 131 rushing yards and a touchdown. So I'll send it back to you guys. 11:18 to go in this one. Riverside all over Bowie, 63-28.
And, Bo, that district's starting to shake out as well. Riverside's going to be the champs for the third straight year. They're going to be 4-0, 8-2 on the season. Austin, by virtue of what looks like it's going to be a victory at Irvin tonight, they're going to stay at 3-1. Bowie's going to drop to 2-2. So Riverside's going to grab first place. Austin second. Bowie third. Remember, San Eli grabbed the fourth and final playoff spot a week ago with a big 25-20 win. Come from behind versus the Irvin Rockets, and this is who they're going to wind up facing. Don't have a score on Andrews Big Spring yet. That's my on the to-do list right now. The loser of that game is going to meet Riverside. Remember, the 4As all go neutral. Second place, Austin would wind up getting the winner of that Andrews Big Spring. I'm going to roll the dice and say Andrews wins that one, even though I haven't seen a score yet. So Austin versus Andrews, likely going to be that matchup. Bowie's going to get stuck with Lubbock Estacado, a big win tonight as they move to 3-1, 8-2 on the season. And the Beast, Brownwood, 4-0. They have the week off. They finished last week at 9-1 on the season. That's who Sanelli is going to meet on the field of battle. That one should not be fun. But again, congrats to Sanelli just for getting in the playoffs.
I have a final, Andrews and Big Spring. Andrews defeats Big Spring 62-27. So now the Mustangs will play, as they say, per Andrews Athletics, Mustangs will play Austin in the first round. They say Thursday, November 9th, 7 p.m. Central Time in Artesia, New Mexico, per Andrews Athletics.
Yeah, I threw Artesia in there. And obviously I'm not Jimmy the Greek by being able to predict that Andrews was going to beat Big Spring. It was a little lopsided of a matchup to begin with.
Yes, absolutely.
I only like the safe ones. That's what I prognosticate on.
I think Andrews now improves to 5-5. Big Spring falls to 2-8. My, how the mighty have fallen over the years. I remember a Big Spring rout of Riverside, I want to say 12 years ago at Riverfront Stadium. I think it was like 62-0 in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, you never know these days, though. If 2-8 couldn't still get that done, Riverside and Big Spring, let's see.
Absolutely. It looks like Burgess is on their way to 2-8 right now. They lead Jefferson 28-6. And speaking of the Austin Panthers, who will play Andrews next week, Austin now leads Irvin 23-7. That game in the third quarter. Looks like Austin will improve to 5-5 overall, 2-2 in district. We're gonna step away, take a break. And we're going to come back with much more, your Ignitify local scoreboard, and update you on all these games. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Let's get to our Ignitify local scoreboard. In our 915 Tours Game of the Week, Del Valle currently leads Bel Air 35-17, that game in the third quarter. Also in that district, Hanks leads Isleta 29-12 in the fourth quarter, and Parkland leads Horizon 44-6, that game almost a final. Oh my gosh, what a game for the Riverside Rangers at Bowie. Riverside leads Bowie 63-28 after 35 unanswered points, that game in the third quarter. Chapin leads Andress 42-21. Let's see here. Burgess leads Jefferson 28-6, and Austin High leads Irvin 23-7. In 4A, Monahans defeated Clint 40-0. Pecos defeated Mountain View 35-27, and Fort Stockton defeated Fabens 56-6. Anthony falls to Ozona 29-13. That's a final. Also a final from the Land of Enchantment. Las Cruces High defeated Los Lunas 42-6. That means Las Cruces High will play Centennial in the semifinals of the 6A New Mexico State playoffs. In 5A, this game winding down, Mayfield leads Gadsden by 1 point, 13-12, late in the fourth quarter. Also over at the late game at the SAC, Americus leads Socorro at halftime 28-0. And the early game at the SAC, Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. Now let's go out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week, get an update from the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, on what an exciting game between Del Valle and Bel Air. Brandon.
11:28 left here in this contest, and Del Valle continues to take care of business. They're up 35-17 over Bel Air, and Del Valle is actually driving again there at the Bel Air 35-yard line after an incomplete pass from Fetti to intended receiver Estrada. Jake Fetti, again, an amazing evening thus far, 23 of 28, 295 yards, 3 total touchdowns for the sophomore quarterback for the Conquistadors. Juan Archuleta, 12 carries, 70 yards, a couple of touchdowns for the running back. We have just a little under 12 minutes to go left in this contest in the fourth quarter, and Del Valle up 35-17 over Bel Air.
All right, the Iceman, Brandon Cohn, thank you so much. 35-17, Del Valle leads Bel Air. Let's go back out to Bowie's Beatty Smang Stadium, get an update from Adrian Broadus. Adrian, take it away.
Hey, guys, we've got 6 minutes to go here at Bowie's Beatty Smang Stadium, and the Bears just got on the board. Quarterback Abraham Carrasco rushed in for his third rushing touchdown of the night. The Bears are back on the board. The extra point is no good. 63-34 is the score. And speaking of the Bears, they've been able to run it nicely tonight thanks to running back Alan Mota. He has 15 carries, 124 rushing yards on the ground, and a touchdown. Been one of the bright spots of Bowie tonight. And, hey, by the way, I mean, you know, they're down big here in this one, but they put up 34 points tonight. They struggled to put up points on the board last week in just scoring 9 against Austin. So in that respect, that is an improvement for Bowie. But you got to give a lot of credit to Riverside, not all that they've able to do, especially their firepower offensively to score as many points as they've had in this game. 6 minutes to go in this one. Riverside up 63-34 over Bowie.
All right, Adrian Broadus, thank you so much for that update. What a high-scoring affair there at Bowie's Beatty Smang Stadium. 63-34 Riverside leading Bowie. Let's go back out to Jerry Alvarez at Andress High School. Andress hosting Chapin. Let's get an update from Jerry. Jerry, what do you got for us?
With 8:09 left in the third quarter, Chapin currently leads Andress 42-21. Since starting play back up, Chapin did not slow down and right away scored twice, one on a 20-yard touchdown pass from Singleton to Hunter Stratford to put them up 35-21. Then, just moments ago, Singleton connected with a 20-yard pass to number 9, Brent Hallman Jr. Chapin has just been in control, and currently Andress just punted back to Chapin. Chapin is going to get the ball back on the Andress 40-yard line to start their next drive. With 8 minutes left in the third quarter, it is Chapin 42, Andress 21.
All right, Jerry Alvarez from Andrus High School. Jerry, great job. Thank you so much. 42-21, Chapin leads Andrus. Let's head back out to Hanks High School. Last check, it was 29-12, Hanks leading Isleta. Let's get an update from Jeremy Karanko. Jeremy.
3:45 left to go in the fourth quarter, and it's Hanks leading Isleta now 29-19. Isleta inches a little bit closer thanks to a 14-yard touchdown pass. Evan Martinez finds Rodolfo Gomez for the score. The onside kick attempt was not successful, and the Hanks Knights are now facing a 3rd down and 5 at midfield. So Isleta could get the ball back here and potentially score and get another onside kick. So this game is not over yet. We'll see what happens, though. Hanks leads it 29-19 with 3:38 left to go.
All right, Jeremy Karanko on the call there. 29-19, just a 10-point lead for the Hanks Knights over the Isleta Indians.
And the only team I think is, if there's another team worrying about this, I think it'd be Bel Air. Let's just keep it simple. Go ahead and Hanks beat Isleta and keep them out of a 3-way if we wind up losing to Del Valle tonight. We don't want to be tied with Parkland and Isleta because then we have to break those ties. And the bad news is Isleta beat Bel Air, beat Parkland,
Yes.
and Parkland hammered Isleta, which means we talked about it maybe 2 hours ago. The team that would come out of that 3-way and get the 2 seed would be the Parkland Matadors. So Parkland is cheering as hard as they can for Isleta, and Bel Air, if they could, they'd throw a little cold water on that Isleta comeback.
Very much. And speaking about those Parkland Matadors, let's head out to Horizon's Emperor Stadium. Horizon hosting Parkland tonight. Let's get an update from Angel Torres on Parkland at Horizon. Angel.
A 1-yard touchdown run by Horizon quarterback Robert Rodriguez makes it 44-13 Parkland, but that is all she wrote. It is now a final. Robert Rodriguez ends the season with 5 rushing touchdowns for the season after the 2 that he had today. One thing that I did want to point out is Parkland attempted a reverse on the kick return on the ensuing kickoff, and it appears to be in an effort to get Caleb Martinez's 1,000 return yards, but it appears that he ends up just shy of that mark with about a 5 or 6 yard return, leaving him maybe about a yard or 2 shy. Once again, it is a final here, 44-13, Parkland over Horizon.
All right, Angel Torres on the call there. Thank you so much, Angel. We're going to come back to you. We believe it's going to be Parkland at Lubbock Cooper in the bi-district round of the playoffs. If you could double-check that on us, and we'll come back to you for a final wrap-up. Once again, Parkland defeats Horizon 44-13. Let's head out to Ryan Vidalis over Jefferson Silver Fox Stadium. Burgess at Jefferson. Let's go to Ryan for an update. Ryan.
It is all over here at Silver Fox Stadium. It was the Burgess Mustangs 28 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6. Jefferson won the time of possession battle in this game. However, they could not punch it in when it really counted to find pay dirt. Running back Miguel Rubio was the workhorse for today. He had 19 carries for 97 yards. However, he was unable to find the end zone. Quarterback Jesus Gomez had 9 carries for 52 yards, and in the second half got a little bit going in the passing game, finished off 4 for 12 for 37 yards. As a team, though, Jefferson did have 37 carries for 194 yards, like I mentioned. However, they just could not get it done to punch it into the end zone. Burgess, however, had a running back duo between Caleb Hanna and Luke Dexter Quinn. Running back Caleb Hanna finished with 12 carries for 136 yards and 3 touchdowns. And running back Luke Dexter Quinn complimented him with 6 carries of his own for 62 yards and 1 touchdown. Spoke with Coach Bernie Luna after the game to find out what their playoff situation is. He said it looks like they will be heading to Wichita Falls Rider Friday, playing in Wichita at 4 p.m. And once again, here at Silver Fox Stadium, it is the Burgess Mustangs 28 and the Jefferson Silver Foxes 6.
4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 o'clock here in El Paso. Yeah, that one's been set for a while. Congratulations to the first-year head coach, Bernie Luna. First-year head coach, longtime defensive coordinator at Burgess. Remember, Burgess had a 7-year run, unprecedented in Mustang history, playoff run, 7 straight years in the playoffs, almost all of those under Neil Rutledge. They came up short last year, so Bernie Luna in his first year, 2-8 season, maybe disappointing, but on the upside, hey, back in the playoffs. Job well done, first-year coach.
Absolutely. Great job for the Burgess Mustangs, improving to 2-8 on the year with a 28-6 win over the Jefferson Silver Foxes. Silver Foxes fall to 0-10 on the season. Very tough year for Tony Martinez and crew over at Jeff. Hey, let's head out to J.D. Sursley, get an update from Socorro hosting Americus over at the Student Activities Complex. J.D.
Yeah, 12 minutes. We just started the fourth quarter. The third quarter flew by incredibly by both teams methodically driving down. Socorro, just like I called them out, they finally passed their 50. They were doing great, methodically run past. And then the real Socorro Bulldogs showed up and they fumbled inside the 15. And then America said, all right, let me show you how it's really done. They drove down, no turnover, added points. Jaden Saez, the number 34, the field goal kicker, kicks it in between the 20 hash mark. So it is America's 31, Socorro 0, start of the fourth quarter.
All right, 31-0, Americus over Socorro. Thank you very much. Great job, JD. 31-0. Wow. Over Americus over Socorro. Hey, we have a final up in the Land of Enchantment in the 5A first round of the playoffs. Mayfield defeats Gadsden by a point, 13-12. Let's go out to Russ Bannister at Mayfield at Gadsden's Panther Stadium and get a final wrap up. Once again, Mayfield defeats Gadsden 13-12. Russ Bannister, take it away.
Yes, it was an outstanding game by both teams. Tremendous amount of sportsmanship. We had two injuries. They weren't serious, but it held up a while. And it's amazing when they helped the kid off the field, and both teams came over and patted him on the shoulder. So it was a nice gesture on both teams. Okay, tonight, Luke Lennon, the quarterback for Mayfield, had a good night. He went 10 for 21, but he had a touchdown and 112 yards, and no interceptions. For their running backs, they had Anthony Navarez. He had 10 carries for 83 yards. And for Gadsden, we had Adrian Munoz, quarterback. He had a good night. Had 19 and 12 for 19 for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. For the running game, was both teams really their defensive coordinators did a good job of shutting down the running games. They congratulations to both. Mayfield will travel to Roswell next week and take on the Roswell team, and I wish them luck. And for from the Joe and Gadsden campus, final score: Mayfield 13, Gadsden 12.
All right, Russ, thank you so much. Great job out there over at Gadsden High School. Really tough way for the Gadsden Panthers season to end. They ended 7-4 overall. Fantastic season, but falling to Mayfield. Once again, the Trojans move on. 13-12 victorious over the Gadsden Panthers. They will play at top seed Roswell, just like what Russ said. Other action in 6A, Las Cruces High defeated Los Lunas 42-6. Las Cruces will play Centennial Friday night at the Field of Dreams in the 6A semifinals. We have lots of action all over town. We got more scores to get to. We got playoff matchups. We got a ton. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night. We'll get to our Ignitify local scoreboard in just a moment. First, let's head out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air, and looks like Del Valle has increased their lead. Let's go to Brandon Cohn for an update. Brandon.
7:38 left in this contest. Del Valle now with a 42-17 edge over Bel Air. At the 7:48 mark here of the fourth quarter, Del Valle running back Ezra Rocha says, "Let me get out of this." 18-yard touchdown run, point after attempt was good. Get this, for the Del Valle Conquistadors, what an offensive frenzy tonight. 28 first downs for them overall. We have 7:39 left in this contest. Looking like Bel Air will host Amarillo Tascosa next Friday night, 6 or 7 p.m., as it is almost an all foregone conclusion as the Del Valle Conquistadors have a 42-17 edge over Bel Air with 7:36 left.
And what he meant to say was, it looks like Del Valle is going to be hosting Amarillo Tascosa. Yeah, absolutely. Del Valle will be doing that. Bel Air looks like they're going to fall to 3-2 and a tie with Parkland at 3-2 as long as Hanks holds on to take down Isleta. Bel Air will be the 2 seed, and they will wind up hosting Amarillo High, the Sandies. They'll be coming to Bel Air to face those Highlanders. Parkland will be making the trip to Lubbock Cooper, who finished 7-3 with a big victory tonight. And, of course, the Hanks Knights, Jeremy Kronko still all over that one. They have a trip to Abilene in the offing. Abilene, 8-2 on the season. They were done a week ago. They are sitting and watching and licking their lips, I'm sure, waiting on those Hanks Knights.
I wonder if they're at Excalibur Stadium doing a little Stallions Michigan scouting right now.
You think without a doubt.
All right, let's head out to Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. We have an update, some more scores between Riverside and Bowie. Let's go out to Adrian Broadus for an update. Adrian.
Hey guys, it is a final out here at Bowie's Beatty Semang Stadium. The Riverside Rangers defeated the Bowie Bears tonight by a score of 66-42. On the final play of the game, Bowie quarterback Abraham Carrasco hit sophomore tight end Johan Camacho for a 42-yard touchdown, and 2-point conversion was good. And let's start off with the Riverside Rangers, who will take home the district championship tonight out of 1-4A. More on that in just a moment. They were led by running back Noah Ramirez, 15 carries, 131 rushing yards, and a 9-yard rushing touchdown. Quarterback Derek Vasquez had a nice night as well, over 100 yards on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 passing touchdowns, was 8 of 13 through the air for 221 passing yards. And, of course, 0 interceptions. Freshman wideout Carlos Rojas III, he was the story out of the wide receiver core for the Rangers. 3 catches, 106 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns to go along with that. Now, the Bears, who hosted tonight for senior night, Abraham Carrasco, the quarterback, led the way for them. He had 2 interceptions in this one, but he also totaled 2 touchdown passes, 3 rushing touchdowns for him tonight. Alan Mota, the running back, led the way on the ground, 17 carries, 160 rushing yards, and a touchdown as well. Antonio Ontiveros is their best player. He's a skilled guy. He had a couple carries on the ground and a few catches as well for 100 receiving yards, but he was just lights out. Second half, Riverside found a way to shut him down, and that's the reason why the Rangers were able to distance themselves here in the second half. Now back over to the Riverside Rangers. They now have won 3 straight district titles under head coach Gary Ricoder, who's had 3 district championships in 5 years at the helm of Riverside. Riverside will be first overall in 1-4A. Austin will be second, and Bowie will follow third. Riverside will take on Big Spring. They're thinking this game could be Friday in Fort Stockton. On the flip side, with the Bowie Bears, they finished the district and finished this one at 2-2 overall, third place in district play. And Bowie in this one will finish third. They are thought to play out in Fort Stockton as well on Thursday against Lubbock Estacado for the first round of the Class A 4A playoffs. So I'll send it back to you guys. Final out here at Beatty Semang Stadium. It's the Riverside Rangers winning another district championship and beating the Bowie Bears tonight, 66-42.
All right, Adrian Broadus, thank you so much for that wrap-up and post-game report. What a game for the Riverside Rangers. Derek Vasquez, just as Adrian said, 7 total touchdowns tonight for the Rangers in the 66-42 victory. Hey, let's head out to Angel Torres. We also have a final. Parkland defeated Horizon 44-13. Let's go to Angel Torres for this post-game wrap-up. Angel.
That is correct. It is a final. Parkland defeats Horizon 44-13 and now have a playoff date with Lubbock Cooper. The questions remain for Parkland running back Anthony Carrillo, who once again sat out today, but it was not a big issue as Caleb Martinez took his place and had 16 carries for 162 yards. Quarterback Eric Ortiz also got a little bit of help from the air from wideout Fabian Cervantes, who caught 4 passes for 83 yards and a touchdown. So that is the final, 44-13, Parkland over Horizon.
All right, Angel Torres, thank you so much. And as we just heard, Parkland will travel and take on Lubbock Cooper in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Elsewhere in 4A, it looks like Hanks is going to hang on. We'll head out to Jeremy Caraco in just a little bit, but Hanks should travel now to Abilene. Meanwhile, Bel Air will host Amarillo, and Del Valle will host Amarillo Tascosa. Of course, that 915 Tours game of the week, Del Valle hosting Bel Air, is still going on at Conquest Stadium. So here is your Ignitify local scoreboard. In 6A, Americus leads Socorro 31-2. That's right, Socorro got a safety in the third quarter. So the Blazers now lead the Bulldogs 31-2. Earlier today, Eastwood topped Eastlake 56-22. So it looks like Eastwood will host Woolforth Friendship in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Meanwhile, that means Pebble Hills, which was off this week, will host the Permian Panthers, and Montwood headed to the playoffs. Montwood fell to Coronado 26-21. We'll get their matchup in just a little bit. I think Montwood's hosting Midland Legacy. Is that correct, Paul?
Montwood is the big school 2 seed, and the 1 seed is going to be the district champs from 2-6A in big school, and that indeed is Midland Legacy, and that indeed is where the Montwood Rams are going to be traveling to. Remember, week 1 this season, they made that trip up to Midland, lost to Midland High. I don't remember what that was, 37-16, something in that vicinity. So they know what they're up against.
And Americus holds on. Who do they play the next round?
Americus is the 2 seed in the small school playoffs. So that means, let's see, Odessa High is out. Odessa Permian and Friendship are in. If Friendship is going to Eastwood, then that means Midland. Well, Midland High is the other small. Didn't we just send Midland High will be the 1 seed in the small, which means they'll get the 2 seed. Did I say Montwood? I should have said Americas. Americas will be going to Midland. So Montwood going to Midland early on didn't mean anything. Well, we're talking about Legacy as well. So they're going to both. Legacy is the 1 seed in the big school. That's where Montwood is going to go. The number 1 seed in the small school should be Midland High, even though they finished 3-2. Legacy is finishing on top of that district by themselves, but they will go to the big school playoffs. So they will be the 1 seed, and that's where Montwood's going to go. America's the 2 seed in the small school behind Eastwood. They're going to go face Midland High. So obviously those games will not be played on the same day. I assume one will be on a Thursday, one on a Friday, as opposed to maybe like the SAC does, play one at 4 and play one at 7.
Absolutely. Okay, and elsewhere in 5A, in our Ignitify local scoreboard, 5A, in our 915 Tours game of the week, in the fourth quarter, Del Valle leads Bel Air 42-17. Chapin leads Andress now 49-21. Hanks leads Isleta 29-19. And last check, Austin in the fourth quarter is leading Irvin 23-13.
And by the way, the reason we can be more definitive with those 6A scores, let's throw some finals. I don't think we've hit those yet. We already knew Permian beat Midland High. Midland takes their second straight loss after starting the season 8-0 and spending the entire district season atop District 2-6A. Permian 21-14 winners. They get a playoff bid berth with that victory. Elsewhere, Midland Legacy. They hold up Midland's honor. They take care of Odessa 32-21, and that's how we know Odessa High out of the playoffs. 2-3 in the district, 5-5 on the season. They are a near miss. mercurial passing game, but not enough tonight as Legacy knocks them out of the playoffs. And Friendship, of course, holds serve as well. They take down San Angelo Central in San Angelo 41-34. So Friendship, Midland High, and Odessa Permian all finished tied at 3-2 in the district, all tied for second place. Midland Legacy all by themselves takes first place. They're the district champs. They are the 1 seed in the big school playoffs. And as we decided, they will be hosting Montwood next week on a Thursday or Friday. Who knows? Maybe somebody from Montwood would know that. Of course, they played last night. So,
okay, and let's go through the finals. What we got here already. Once again, Riverside defeated Bowie 66-42. Monahans defeated Clint 40-0. Pecos defeated Mountain View 35-27. Parkland defeated Horizon 44-13. Burgess defeated Jefferson 28-6. Once again, earlier today, Eastwood topped Eastlake 56-22. Fort Stockton defeated Fabens 56-6. Ozona defeated Anthony 29-13, and in the state of New Mexico, Las Cruces High defeated Los Lunas 42-6. Cruces will now face Centennial in an Las Cruces citywide matchup in the 6A semifinals. Meanwhile, Mayfield defeated Gadsden 13-12 in the first round of the playoffs. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We'll head back out to our 915 Tours Game of the Week, plus much more in our 9 to 5 local scoreboard. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night. We have another final to report from 3A in the Land of Enchantment. 3A first round of the New Mexico State playoffs. Dexter defeats Hatch Valley 38-6. Let's head out to our 915 Tours game of the week. Del Valle hosting Bel Air. Del Valle really running away with this one after it was tied at 14 in the first quarter. Let's head out to Brandon Cohn at Conquest Stadium. Brandon.
2:38 left here in this one, and it is Del Valle 42-17 over Bel Air. They are just running the clock out at this point. Bel Air got all the way down to the 15-yard line, went for it on fourth down, and were unable to convert. So therefore, Del Valle at this point, as I noted, running to another district championship. 2:17 left in this one, and it's Del Valle 42-17 over Bel Air.
All right, Brandon Cohn, thank you very much for that update. 42-17, Del Valle will once again host Amarillo Tascosa in the first round of the bi-district playoffs. Meanwhile, Bel Air, even despite falling in this game, what looks like going to be 2 minutes left, and they're down by, 25. They will host Amarillo at Highlander Stadium. What a fun night that will be next week at Highlander Stadium. Let's head out to Andress High School. Andress hosting Chapin. This game should be in the fourth quarter. Let's get an update from Jerry Alvarez. Jerry.
Yes, it is 9:21 left in the fourth quarter. Chapin currently leads Andress 49-21. The last score was by Davion Singleton on a 1-yard cubic keeper. Chapin has just knocked out all the energy out of Andress here, as Andress is continuously trying to get something going but failed. They are currently looking at a 4th and 16 to punt it after a few penalties, and Chapin just not allowing them to move the ball whatsoever. Chapin is now just running the ball, killing the clock, and has completely taken control over this game. With 9:21 left in the fourth quarter, it is Chapin 49, Andress 21.
All right, Jerry Alvarez, thank you very much. This is once a game that Andress led 14-0 in the first quarter, but Chapin has outscored the Eagles 49-7 the rest of the way, once again leading 49-21. This game should be final over at Excalibur Stadium. Let's go out to Jeremy Karanko. Hanks hosting Isleta. Jeremy, what do you got for us?
It's a final here at Excalibur Stadium, and it is an excited and passionate Excalibur Stadium. Tears of joy from head coach Scott Felice as the Hanks Knights have beaten Isleta 35-19. And right now on the sidelines, head coach Scott Felice cheering with his team, celebrating with his team. And I just spoke with him, and he gives me the playoff matchup. It will be next Thursday night at 6 p.m. Shotwell Stadium in Abilene, taking on the 1-seed Abilene Eagles. And for Hanks, their first playoff appearance since 2019 was earned tonight on the ground by Michael Oliver. 37 carries, 201 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns, both coming in the first half. Hanks got up to a big lead, 20-6, near halfway through the second quarter. Hanks got 2 big pass plays in this game, 61 and 51-yard touchdown receptions from DeAndre Jackson, from Evan Martinez to get close, but 3 interceptions, a fumble in the end zone. Justin Allen, also a hero, Scott Felice tells me, with that big defensive play that really shifted the game as Isleta was gaining momentum throughout. The Hanks Knights improving to 6-4, 2-3 in district. Again, they will be traveling to face Abilene next Thursday at 6 p.m. at Shotwell Stadium. And the Isleta Indians season comes to an end at 4-6 and 2-3. But they did have some great games throughout, beating Bel Air. And coming in tonight is a little bit of a disappointment. They will be missing the playoffs. But again, Hanks with their fans, senior night, exciting. And Excalibur Stadium was going crazy as this game came to an end. So a final here at Excalibur Stadium. Hanks beats Isleta to reach the playoffs 35-19.
All right, Jeremy Karanko, thank you for that post-game report. Great job. We'll post-game hangout tonight over at the District by UTEP. Thanks so much for that call. And once again, Hanks will now travel to Abilene next Thursday, 6 p.m. in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Scott Felice, great job in your first year. You now get to take on Abilene in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like fun, but you got to embrace the moment, as you heard tears of joy from Scott Felice, as our Jeremy Karanko just told us. his first season as a head coach of any kind, high school level anyway, and put success on it. By the way, a markedly better team, these Hanks Knights, this season compared to last year. So, the early returns on Scott Valise as a head coach, pretty darn good.
Very much so. Doing a great job. Hanks ends the season 6-4 overall. Once again, will travel to take on Abilene next Thursday, 6 p.m. in Abilene in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Hey, let's head out to get an update from J.D. Sursley over at the Student Activities Complex. Americus at Socorro. Let's see what the update is there. J.D.
Yeah, 2:53 left in the game. So we're saying that they were just driving around, messing around, and then Mario Hoguin with the interception against Trevante Thrasher. Socorro has been driving this second half. They just haven't been able to punch it. So what does Americas do? They give a little friendship mercy, and they do a botch snap in the end zone when they turn over after the interception, give Socorro a safety, and then just now, Alex Ortiz with his 5th touchdown, a 38-yard run, and then Socorro with their drive, Trevante Thrasher and Adrian Acosta II was all their drive, passing and catching from each other and running, and then Adrian Acosta gets the 7-yard swing pass from Trevante Thrasher. The 2-point conversion is good by Jacob Gonzalez catch. So now it is America's 31, Socorro 10, and Brian Flores is going to score the ensuing kickoff. So now it is 2:40 left in the fourth quarter. America has just scored 44, Socorro 10.
And JD makes a good point. I've seen it for myself, and I've heard it from others. The Socorro offense, this is the second year for Eddie Cano. Remember, he came over from Pebble Hills, took over this program. The offense looks so much better this year. Ariel Famaligi, the ex-Montwood coach, running that side of the football for Socorro these days. But, I mean, that's what you look for, especially by year 3. Is the program headed in the right direction? Socorro's not going to win a game this year. They're going to go 0-10, but is the program headed in the right direction? I mean, obviously, they'd fallen and really couldn't get up. So they're coming from, a far direction down. So maybe it's easy to look better, but they certainly do. And the sophomore quarterback, Abe Acosta, Antonio. The Thrasher kid started the season, but Antonio Montes, the sophomore QB, has been terrific. Anytime I hear Montes and quarterback at Socorro, I think of Albert Montes, of course, the professional baseball player. He was marvelous. I believe that's the last time Socorro won a district title, 98 maybe. Is that when he got out there? Got out of there. Jimmy Carson strung 5 straight district titles at Socorro High School, and I think Montes might have been the last of that bunch once Carson left, and once they just started building all these other Socorro schools, Montwood and then Americas, and let's put up El Dorado, and now here comes Eastlake, and you wonder why Socorro has trouble competing these days. Socorro district is spread a lot thinner than they were back in Jimmy Carson's day, but as it is, everybody has their salad days. We talked about it earlier tonight. Right now is that time for the Eastwood Troopers, as successful as they are. Socorro had their day as well, and maybe they'll have their day again. Maybe this year, too, is part of that building program under second-year coach Eddie Cano.
All right, and we have some finals all around town, and what we're going to do is go through final scores and playoff matchups with myself and Paul McKinnon, but we have a final from Irvin Memorial Stadium. The Austin Panthers have defeated the Irvin Rockets 23-13. Austin now advances to the bi-district round of the playoffs. They will play Andrews Thursday, 6 p.m. in Artesia, New Mexico. Meanwhile, we have a final from our 915 Tours Game of the Week. The Divide Conquistadors defeat the Bel Air Highlanders 42-17. Divide, according to Brandon Cohn, a reporter on site, Divide will now host Amarillo Tascosa. That's Friday at Conquest Stadium. Meanwhile, Bel Air also will host, but they will host the Amarillo Sandies either Thursday or Friday at Highlander Stadium. So once again, Delvi defeats Bel Air 42-17. We're going to give Brandon a moment there out at Delvi to do his thing, and we'll get his final wrap-up in just a little bit. But let's start with the 6A matchups right now. Tonight, right now, Americus currently leads Socorro 44-10 in the fourth quarter. So Americus, Eastwood, Pebble Hills, and Montwood are your 6A playoff representatives from El Paso. Paul, who do you got them playing?
This is the only district, again, where you have small school and big school playoffs. You take the 4 playoff contenders, the 4 teams that make the playoffs, and the 2 most populous teams, you grab them and move them up into the big school Division I playoffs. In this case, out of Eastwood, Pebble Hills, Montwood, and Americas, the 2 most populous teams are Pebble Hills and Montwood. Pebble Hills finished with a better record than Montwood, 6-2 in the district. Montwood on top of the Coronado loss last night. It wouldn't have mattered either way, even if they'd won that contest, so not a big deal. They would have been the 2 seed. So Pebble Hills is the 1 seed in the big. Montwood is the 2 seed in the big. We already know that Midland Legacy is going to be the 1 seed coming out of District 2 6A. They won 2 6A with their victory tonight over Odessa High, knocking Odessa out of the playoffs. So Legacy will be the number 1. That means Montwood, the 2 seed in the big school, is going to travel to Midland Legacy. Which night? That'll be a Thursday, Friday deal as well. Pebble Hills, they'll get to host, and they will get Odessa Permian. The Mojo almost out of the playoffs. The huge victory tonight, beat Midland High, handed their second straight loss after starting the season 8-0. Permian gets into the playoffs, and they will be coming for a second straight year, by the way, to El Paso to meet up with Pebble Hills. In the small school, Eastwood goes 7-0 in the district, undefeated, 8-1. Their only loss, week 1 to South Lake Carroll. Did I say 8-1? 9-1. Eastwood after the big win tonight, finished the season 9-1. They will host small school playoffs. You know that Julio Lopez, I don't know that we heard official word yet, but he's a Friday guy, and if he can get away with a 7 o'clock kick, he certainly will, although Central Texas will argue about that one. They'll want to go at 6, so it could even be a 6:30 kick next Friday. But Friendship, let's see, just breaking the tie in my head. Friendship 3-2, Permian 3-2, they go to the big school. Yeah, Friendship and Midland High beat Friendship head up. You get a point differential. This is guesswork at the moment. But Friendship looks like they're coming to Eastwood, guessing anywhere between a 6 and 7 o'clock kick next Friday at Eastwood Trooper Stadium. And who are we leaving out? The small school 2 seed is going to be Americas, and they're going to wind up traveling to
Midland High.
Midland High, at what was formerly known as Grande Communication Stadium. So both the Midlands will be hosting El Paso teams next week, and you would assume one would be on a Thursday, the other on a Friday.
Okay, meanwhile, let's go to 5A. Once again, Delvi defeated Bel Air 42-17. So Delvi will host Amarillo Tascosa, according to our reporter on site, Brandon Cohn. Delvi will host Amarillo Tascosa on Friday. Meanwhile, Bel Air will also host Amarillo either Thursday or Friday. We'll try to get confirmation of that. And then you go down to Hanks. The Hanks Knights defeated Isleta 35-19. Hanks will travel to Abilene Thursday, 6 p.m. kickoff in Abilene. Meanwhile, the Parkland Matadors defeated Horizon today 44-13. So Parkland travels to Lubbock. They will play at Lubbock Cooper. Now, here's an interesting one. This one is not a final, but Chapin up big over the Andress Eagles right now. Chapin is up 49-21 in the fourth quarter. Chapin and Andress and Canutillo. Paul, who do you got in this district?
Well, I got them all, but Canutillo, the district champs, they finished this season 8-2. They get the winner of Paladuro and Plainview. Paladuro won that contest. Let me see if I can find it. 41-14, Paladuro beats Plainview, and by virtue of that victory, they grab the fourth and final playoff spot in District 2 5A. They will travel to Canutillo. I don't think we have anything official on that, but Scott Brooks loves his Thursday nights, and it worked last year. Paladuro, again, was the matchup. And I think there was a 28-0 final. Of course, L.J. Martin was in your backfield at the time, but a lot of that same defense that shut out Paladuro a year ago returns. So a revenge match for Paladuro as they'll travel to Canutillo. Chapin, by virtue of their impending victory over Andress tonight, they're going to host Abilene Cooper. Abilene Cooper lost to Abilene Wiley tonight. That was a 2-3 elimination game again. Abilene Wiley beats Abilene Cooper 17-7 in the Battle of Abilene's. So the loser turns into a 3 seed. They travel to our 2 seed, which is going to wind up being the Chapin Huskies, thanks to the good work of Davion Singleton and Kerry Wade, who didn't get the start tonight, but sure did get the finish as the Huskies came on late after getting off to a shaky start. 14-0. Andress actually led that one, and that leaves Andress, who they're eventually going to fall, finish 4-6 on the season, 3-2 in the district, and they will travel to Abilene Wiley at a time and site to be determined. Hopefully our Jerry Alvarez all over that one. He should be asking questions as that one finally dwindles. And I think we already mentioned the Burgess Mustangs, by virtue of their big win tonight, finishing 2-8 on the season, 2-3 in the district, grabbed the fourth and final playoff spot, and they travel to the Monsters, Wichita Falls Rider, who won again tonight to finish the season at 8-2. Rider 49-7 winners over Lubbock High. Lubbock finishes the season at 2-8, 0-5 on obviously out of the playoffs.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go to 4A now. The Pecos defeated Mountain View 35-27, meaning despite Clint's loss to Monahans, Clint advances to the playoffs. Monahans defeated Clint 40-0. Clint will now take on West Plains Thursday at Seminole High School. Meanwhile, Mountain View is out of the playoffs also.
6 p.m. I believe that's Mountain Time, so maybe that's 5. You know what? Maybe it's 7 o'clock there. That makes more sense. 6 p.m. our time. As you said, Seminole on a Thursday night. And don't forget to skip over 1-4A Division I, where Riverside, of course, by virtue of their win tonight, they claim their third straight district title. Adrian Broadus already told you that. And they get to host Big Spring, losers to Andrews tonight. That score was 62-27. Andrews grabs the 3 seed with the win. Big Spring falls to the 4. So Big Spring and Riverside at a neutral site. Austin, they finished 3-1 with their victory over Irvin tonight, 27-17, I believe that was. They finished 3-1 in the district. They grabbed the 2 seed, which means they get that Andrews Big Spring winner, and that'll be Andrews. They're going to have their hands full, even though Andrews finishes just 5-5 this year. They are always a handful. Bowie falls all the way down to the 3 seed. They'll get Lubbock Estacado and San Elizario, by virtue of that big 25-20 come-from-behind win a week ago to beat Irvin. They get the Monsters of District 2-4A. That would be Brownwood, who had the week off. They're just waiting and watching. 4-0 in that district, 9-1 on the season, and they hammered second place Estacado. So Brownwood really is a handful, and San Eli, they got 2 hands.
Absolutely. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break. We're going to get a final wrap-up from Brandon Cohn, get an update from Jerry Alvarez over at the Andress Chapin game, and hear more from J.D. Sursley as Americus looks like they're going to take down Socorro. You're listening to Football Friday Night. Still to come, more scores and highlights and playoff matchups. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso. Welcome back to Football Friday Night, the final night of the regular season. High school football in West Texas, the first round of the New Mexico State playoffs, and we've got it all. Let's go through our final scores. Actually, is in 6A, Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. Americus currently leads Socorro 44-10, that in the fourth quarter. In 5A, our 915 Tours game of the week, Del Valle defeats Bel Air 42-17. Hanks defeats Isleta 35-19, and Parkland defeats Horizon 44-13. We'll get to playoff matchups in just a little bit. Elsewhere in 5A, Chapin leads Andress 49-21, and Burgess defeated Jefferson 28-6, and now to 4A, Austin defeated Irvin 23-13. Riverside topped Bowie 66-42. Monahans defeated Clint 40-0. Pecos defeated Mountain View 35-27. Fort Stockton defeated Fabens 56-6. Ozona topped Anthony 29-13. Up in the state of New Mexico in the 6A first round of the playoffs, Las Cruces defeated Los Lunas 42-6. In the 5A first round, Mayfield defeated Gadsden 13-12. And in the 3A first round of the playoffs, Dexter defeated Hatch Valley 38-6. Let's head now out to Brandon Cone in our 915 Tours game of the week. Del Valle topped Bel Air 42-17 for a final wrap-up. Let's go to Brandon Cone. Brandon.
Yeah, it is the final here at Conquest Stadium as Del Valle is victorious 42-17 over Bel Air. For Del Valle, they finished the season 9-1, unblemished record of 5-0 in 1-5A Division I. Del Valle, their third consecutive district championship, their 12th overall. They will host Amarillo Tascosa next Friday, November 10th at 6 or 7 p.m. Their quarterback, Jake Fetty, unbelievable evening, 25 of 32, 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9 rushes for 42 yards, also 2 pass, 1 rush touchdown. Running back Juan Archuleta, 15 carries for 82 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Running back Ezra Rocha had a touchdown. Wideout Jonathan Estrada, 53 yards. Also, he had that touchdown reception. And Andres May had 7 receptions, 107 yards, and 1 touchdown. For Bel Air, they finished their season 8-2, 3-2 in 1-5A. They do finish as a number 2 seed in 1-5A Division I. They will indeed host Amarillo High School either next Thursday or Friday. Their quarterback, Noah Moreno, 24 of 43, 260 yards, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns. And wideout Mark Nubisky, 7 receptions, 126 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So it's a final at Far East El Paso here at Conquest Stadium. Del Valle victorious, 1-5A Division I district champions, 42-17 over Bel Air.
All right, the Iceman, Brandon Cone, great job, my man. We'll see you over the district, our post-game hotspot tonight. Now, Del Valle will host Amarillo Tascosa Friday, while it looks like Bel Air will host Amarillo in the bi-district round of the playoffs, also on Friday. Let's head out to Andress Alan Sepkowitz Stadium and join Jerry Alvarez as Andress is hosting Chapin in this game, winding down. It looks like it's all Chapin. Jerry, what do you got for us?
And it is actually all over now here at Alan Sepkowitz Stadium as the Chapin Huskies defeat the Andress Eagles 49-21. Andress showed a little bit of life towards the end to drive it down all the way to the Chapin 3-yard line. They said Chapin's defense came up big and caused a fumble. Chapin took over there and just pretty much ran off the clock. Andress did get the ball back with about 2 minutes left in the game, but could not get anything going whatsoever. So it's a final here. Chapin 49, Andress 21.
All right, Jerry Alvarez, thank you so much. We'll see you over at our postgame hotspot, the district, over by UTEP tonight. 49-21, Chapin defeats Andress tonight at Alan Sepkowitz Stadium. Chapin Huskies will now play the Abilene Cooper in the bi-district round of the playoffs. Meanwhile, Andress will travel to Abilene Wiley. Let's now head out to the SAC in the Student Activities Complex and join J.D. Sursley as Socorro is hosting Americus in this game, also winding down. J.D.
All right, we're at the final. America Trailblazers 45, Socorro Bulldogs 17. Socorro started to finally score, but it was obviously way little too late. Adrian Acosta ends the night with 120 receiving yards, 62 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns for Socorro. Trevante Thrasher, the number one quarterback for Socorro, the junior, 240-yard passing, 20 yards rushing, an INT, but he does get his touchdown. And it was a pass to Adrian Acosta. Now, Americas, I mean, they had their way, obviously, all night. Nothing bad. Cameron Johnson, 129 yards rushing. He didn't even play the second half. They gave it to Joaquin Hernandez, who's actually, they're both sophomores, so they got a 2-tandem running back committee that's doing really well. He ended the night with 90 rushing yards. Alex Ortiz, who played in the spot at quarterback over Mark Moore, 132 passing yards, 106 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 running, 2 passing. And then great things for Anthony Miranda, who came back from his injuries, 84 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. America's 45 victory ends up in a trip to the playoffs, either Midland or Lubbock, in a possible neutral site. But either way, Coach Robles said they are ready and excited for the opportunity.
All right, J.D. Sursley from the Student Activities Complex. J.D., great job. Thank you very much. We'll see you over the district by UTEP. Meanwhile, Americus defeats Socorro 45-17. So let's go through our playoff matchups one more time, and then we'll get to our Oscar Arieta Agency Top Athlete with Paul McKinnon. In 6A, Americus defeats Socorro 45-17. Americus will travel to Astound Broadband Stadium. That's the new Grande Communications Stadium name. Americus will travel and face Midland High in the bi-district playoffs. Eastwood defeated Eastlake 56-22. Eastwood will host Wolfworth Friendship. Meanwhile, Montwood will host Midland Legacy. Montwood will travel to Midland and face Midland Legacy, while Pebble Hills will host the Permian Panthers. Okay, 5A. Delvi defeated Bel Air 42-17. Delvi will now host Amarillo Tascosa. Meanwhile, Bel Air will also host Amarillo in the bi-district round. Hanks defeated Isleta 35-19. Hanks will travel to Abilene, face Abilene Thursday, 6 p.m. And Parkland defeated Horizon 44-13. Parkland will travel to Lubbock to face Lubbock Cooper. In 4A, let's go Riverside Bowie. Riverside defeated Bowie 66-42, meaning Riverside earns the district championship. They will take on Big Spring Friday in Fort Stockton. Meanwhile, Bowie will take on Lubbock Estacado Thursday in Fort Stockton, and San Elizario will take on Brownwood, the district champ there. Austin defeated Irvin tonight 23-13, so Austin will travel to take on Andrews Thursday 6 p.m. Mountain Time in Artesia. Elsewhere in 4A, Clint fell to Monahans 40-0. Pecos defeated Mountain View 35-27. By means of that Pecos win over Mountain View, Clint makes the playoffs. Despite being shut out, Clint will take on West Plains Thursday at Seminole. Also in 4A scores, Fort Stockton defeated Fabens 56-6. And in the Land of Enchantment, Las Cruces High defeats Los Lunas in the 6A first round of the playoffs 42-6. Las Cruces will take on Centennial in the 6A semifinals. In 5A, Mayfield tops Gadsden 13-12, so Mayfield will travel to take on the top seed Roswell next week in the 5A semifinals. And in 3A, Dexter defeats Hatch Valley 38-6. Let's see. I've left out Burgess out there. Burgess defeated Jefferson 28-6. Burgess will travel to take on the district champ Wichita Falls Rider 4 p.m. Friday in Wichita Falls.
And, Bo, I'm looking at District 2-6A one more time. I just had a little time, so I broke the tie. Remember, Midland Legacy, they're the champs of the district, 8-2 on the season. all by themselves. A three-way tie for second. Midland High at 3-2, Odessa Permian 3-2, and Wolfforth Friendship at 3-2. Friendship beat Permian this year by 2 points, which makes them a +2. Permian a -2. Permian just beat Midland tonight by 7 points. 21-14 final makes Permian now a +5. Midland becomes a -7, but they beat Friendship by 10. So as it all stacks out, this is the first thing you're supposed to do district-wise. Break the three-way tie. And when you do that, Legacy, obviously, first place, number 1 seed. Second seed now goes to Odessa Permian, the Permian Panthers. At +5, they're the 2 seed. Midland High becomes the 3 seed, and Friendship becomes the 4. Now you pull out the 2 big school teams. And, of course, Legacy is the 1 seed. They are the 1. And Odessa Permian is the 2, which just affirms that for a change, everything we told you is absolutely correct until it's not.
There you go. Now time, as we wind down the show, the final week of the regular season for high school football in West Texas in the first round of the playoffs in the state of New Mexico. Time for our top athlete, brought to you by the Oscar Arieta Agency. From a locally owned insurance agency, the Oscar Arieta Agency is proud to serve El Paso. With 4 locations in town, the Oscar Arieta Agency can help with your home, auto, and life insurance. Oscar Arieta is the official insurance agent of the UTEP Miners. Visit Rise Up 915 to learn more about prizes and giveaways from the Oscar Arieta Agency. And Paul, now time to anoint our top athlete. Who do you have?
He's an electric character for sure, and still so young. Quarterback last year as a freshman, playing some receiver this year. We just found out how impressive Davion Singleton, especially when you couple him with Kerry Wade, the explosive running back when you put them together. Remember, Singleton started tonight's Andrews contest at receiver, and Wade started on the sidelines watching. Once they got down 14-0 against Andrus, it's time to get serious. They plugged in Singleton at quarterback where he could get his hands on the ball every play. They put Wade in the backfield, and it seemed like 6 minutes later it was 28-14 shape, and they came storming back. Singleton, this was midway through the fourth quarter, 13 carries, 179 yards at that time. No telling what he finished with. 4 touchdowns on the ground. So Singleton drove the bus along with his partner in crime, Kerry Wade. Davion Singleton, our outstanding athlete of the night, just a sophomore, which leaves room for a bunch of seniors on our Seniors of the Night.
Very much. Senior of the Night, brought to you by the Greater El Paso Football Showcase. Senior football players must have their SAT, ACT results submitted by December 1st to be eligible for the All-Star Combine and the game. Go to 915showcase.com or the Greater El Paso Football Showcase social media to see weekly top 5 performers, scores, and stats of teams and players and more. Now time for our Senior Player of the Night.
Well, Caleb Hanna had another big night, not 300 yards, 135, I think, tonight in the Big Burgess win. But for the Senior of the Night, we're going to have to look to another running back who was there when his team needed him. The Ysleta Indians come into Excalibur Stadium with that terrific defensive backfield. So maybe Jude Blanco's not going to have such a big game. What do? Well, we got this big character, Michael Oliver, spends a lot of time on defense tonight. He's getting the football, and that's exactly what he did. 200-plus yards for Oliver on the ground, at least a couple of touchdowns. His running and the Hanks Knights running game, maybe for the first time all season, powers Hanks to the huge 35-19 win over Ysleta in the playoff elimination contest. Ysleta, a good team. They're going home because tonight the Hanks Knights were just better.
Absolutely. An honorable mention, I want to throw in a name there. Derek Vasquez, senior quarterback for the Riverside Rangers.
Terrific.
7 total touchdowns tonight for the Riverside Rangers as they put up 66 on the Bowie Bears tonight in the district championship winning game.
4 of those on the ground for Vasquez.
Yeah.
And that was a guy who was in the defensive backfield a year ago watching other people play quarterback.
Nice job by all players all around. What a night for high school football. The playoffs are set. Go to all of our, go to KRD.com, 600ESPNElPaso.com. All of our Football Friday Night Prep One pictures and information will all be on there for you to see and hear and think about and dream about. That does it for Week 11 of the high school football season here on 600 ESPN El Paso, the playoff edition, coming up next week. And we can't wait. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. You're listening to Football Friday Night right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.